Requesting permission for launch. Yeah. Pro show. Yes, sir. Explaining entertainment, keeping them ahead of the culture. Good, that's right. Go for launch in 3, 2, 1. Here go, sir. Start the countdown.
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
Disney insider wdwpro recently speculated on.
Time and time again, he's broken big entertainment news live on the air.
I've been following wdwpro and his track record for years. If you want to find out what's on the horizon for theme parks, Pro is where you go.
He's like the honey badger. He just keeps scooping and scooping and scooping. He's like the honey badger. He just keeps scooping and scooping and scooping. All right. All right. All right. He's like the honey badger. He just keeps scooping and scooping and scooping. All right. All right. He's like the honey badger. All right. All right.
Man, that pro guy, he got more answers than Corn Pop. I tune in every day right here from the Oval Office. Sniff hair and find out what Pro has to say every day.
Quick, Cheney, we gotta put away the Legos and get in the big boy chair. It's time to listen in to the Pro Show, my favorite show every single day.
I did not have relations with anybody during the Pro Show.
It's Pro. He's gonna be huge.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to ProVision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your coffee glasses. I'm going.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun. From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies in the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show! All right, folks, welcome one and all. It is that week that everyone loves. If you love starches, it is indeed Thanksgiving week, and we are looking up there right now. The poll is taking place, and let me say to all of you out there who might not be from the United States of America, you are still welcome to vote in the Thanksgiving poll that we have here. You don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving to know which one you prefer for your mashed potatoes, or as we say here in Springfield, your squished spuds. White gravy, or is it brown gravy? Vote in that poll and let us know. It looks like most of you enjoy brown gravy with your spuds, not that white breakfast gravy, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. We may have a turnaround real soon. Of course, you all are not here for gravy today, although really what else is there in life than gravy? You all are here for a very big announcement. We'll be getting to that announcement in just a few moments. Also, I want to thank all of you out there who each and every time we do this show, you are so kind to wait through that intro. And I'm sure many of you out there, over 700 currently in the audience, that you're very happy to click that like button and help us get to 500 likes right off the bat so that we send this thing to the stratosphere. Of course, 5-minute intros tend to be very important for YouTube channels such as this, as it allows you to watch the ad without interruption of the show. And then on top of that, it also allows us to supercharge this thing with a bunch of likes right off the bat. So we are very pleased that so many of you tune in for that. We expect even more to be joining us shortly. Someone who is joining us right now, please welcome back to the stage the man, the legend, the voice of reason itself, Jonas J. Campbell. Welcome back, sir.
Oh my, when you started talking, I thought then maybe you were going to bring someone else in, but here I am. Just my regular old self. You know what? Seeing some of the theories that are going around as to what the big announcement is, I have to say, some of these are on like YouTube shenanigans, like new kinds of series or things like that. I gotta say, you guys aren't thinking big enough here. We've got a big.
If we promote this, I don't know. It's been weeks now. We've said, hey, something big is happening. If we came out today and said, hey, it's a new pack of emojis, I think we would lose cachet with people. Although we love our emojis.
Credibility pretty instantaneously. And and I'm so glad that I don't have to keep it in any longer that Bob Chapek has been cast to play the Kingpin.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's a perfect casting. A little weak in the knees, but otherwise perfectly domular.
But you know
there
what?
We go.
Is it time to open the door, Pro? Because I would love to let in our first set of guests.
Well, should we go open the door, do you think?
Actually, you know what? What we probably need to do is we need to point out that Fat Steven JFG gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you very much, Steven.
And Steven doesn't have to do that, of course. Folks, I was telling Jonas earlier today, this is no lie. Jonas can confirm, and we shall never tell a lie. Jonas and I were talking earlier today that, when Steven ends each day, he goes to bed knowing that he is probably the best thumbnail artist on YouTube, period.
Oh, absolutely. He puts
Steven is incredible. So, and he has a great gaming stream as well, and we are so appreciative of those gifted memberships. I also want to say, folks, before we get into the news of the day and this big announcement, we're about to top 1,000 in the audience. Make sure you click the like button, of course, folks. But we also are going to be looking into other news items of the day, which have become very, very spicy. And so I'm very excited about that. We also are nearing 50,000 subscribers on this channel, and that's going to be quite the accomplishment. All credit goes to the audience out there. You all have helped propel this channel to probably 50,000 subscribers in less than 1 year.
And the 50,000 is also not the announcement.
No, that is not the announcement at all. No.
As amazing as that is for us.
We're going to break the internet in just a few minutes. So hang tight, folks.
Oh, well, I didn't realize Kim Kardashian was here. I also want to point out here, Koyuki Aihara, and forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, became a member at the profound level. And Fork 501 became a member at the potential level. And oh my goodness, first of all, welcome aboard to you two. Also, Big Daddy MRI gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Wow, thank you so much.
Big Daddy MRI.
That's right.
Let me say to all of you receiving memberships, and there may be some more gifted memberships later in the show, we have made it available to all members of the channel for this show today to drop a bonus member chat, and we'll read those bonus member chats at the end of the show and respond to them just like they are super chats. Now, the thing is that, folks, if I were you, I would wait until the announcement happens before you put in your bonus member chats. But that's totally up to you on how you want to do that. But all members today for this live stream can put in a bonus member chat. Go to the community tab on the WDW Pro channel to put in your member chat, and here come more of those gifted memberships. Quick, folks. Grab them.
Look at that. Space Dave gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you so much, guys. I got to say, you don't even know what the announcement is yet, and it's a big one. So with that being said, thank you very much to the kind generosity of Big Daddy MRI and also Space Dave 2000. We should bring in our guests. That is...
in that case, Jonas, let me get the door for just a moment. Let's bring in the guests right now.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. It's Vash Sky from That Park Place, and also Culture Casino from Culture Casino and That Park Place.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel.
Well, thanks.
I feel honored to be on the show, Pro, where you announced that you'll be in Captain Marvel 3. I you know what? I had a hope, but this is amazing.
It was either Vash, or we were going to announce that I am dating Amber Heard, and the latter just seemed too abusive. So
I think that we were all disappointed when we found out at the screenings that Pro's cameo had been cut from the Marvels. Yes.
It was disappointing.
I also have to point out that Red Tigress snuck in behind everyone's back like a panther. Actually, no, like a tigress. And gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you so much, Red Tigress. And good to see you. Hadn't got to be on a stream with your presence here for a while. And, my... Jay gifted 20.
Oh, Jay.
Wow. Well, you know what? This calls for a celebration right off the top before we even get started. Here we go, folks. Let's celebrate all of these wonderful gifted memberships and the benevolent people sending them our way.
A blindfolded half-court shot that is now the talk of campus and beyond.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Is that on tape?
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
Wow.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And the Bob Iger is all like, no, it's going up in my stock.
Fantastic.
All right, well, I'm ready for a good show now. That got me going. Thank you for those gifted memberships, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stop me because we still have more super chats. Maybe you know what, we've got a little bit of time here.
Actually, Jonas. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the super chats. We were going to start with a news story so everybody can get in here and be ready for the announcement. But let's do the super chats now, and then we'll hit the news story on the backside of that. Go for it.
Hey, look, it's Hughes. Views with Hughes, agenda-free news. Go check out Hughes, guys. For $10. Howdy. Looking forward to the announcement. Hughes, me too. Because I've almost made it to the finish line without telling anyone that I'm not supposed to tell. So we're almost there, buddy. Then also, theme park
promised, Jonas. You pinky promised.
one of our VI Pro members and a incredible supporter of the channel. I've got it. The big announcement is Pro's secret identity. We all assumed WDW stood for something Disney related, when in fact his real name is Walter D. White. His dream to one day be king of the culture curve.
G stands for Daryl, of course.
Walt Daryl World. Jay for $2. I just woke up. I had no idea this was happening. Me too, Jay. Me too.
We're all feeling the same way. And hey, come Friday after Thanksgiving, so many of you will feel the exact same way as those carbs finally release and relinquish their control over you, and you wake from your sleepy slumbers and realize Black Friday is here.
The tryptophan.
A tipping barn for $1.99. Is Pro actually Bob Iger? Yes, WDW Pro is what Bob Iger turns into when it's just.
You lie, Jonas. I take 3 showers a day. 3 showers just to remind myself I'm not him.
That's what the showers are there to do, to prevent him from becoming too dang hot and transforming.
The majority
into
of
the
my
beast
day
within.
is showering. It's amazing.
Is the third shower on your yacht, Iger?
That's why when he's not in Florida, Pro lives in Forks, up in the Northwest. It's a nice, cool environment. And Mr. Budcraft Media gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Budcraft.
The juices flowing.
All right.
The only thing more mysterious about Pro that is beyond his identity is his location, because we don't know from moment to moment where he is.
Springfield, of course, culture. It's clearly delineated on the map.
I'm not even kidding when I say he has a mobile studio. So
he does. You don't know where he's at.
Don't tell everybody about the mobile studio, but yes, we do have for remote. You might imagine I have to travel a little bit for the kind of coverage we do, and there's a mobile studio. So may it not be struck by Bob Iger's lightning.
Gramcast, good to see you, buddy. For $1.99. Weird way to announce you are not the father.
I am not your father.
No, I don't think that was a Darth Vader reference. I think that was a Maury Povich reference.
I was about ready to do the walk and everything.
I wish we had a clip from that. That would be great for right now. Let's add that to the list of things we need.
Yeah, I used to put that in videos all the time. JB Spooky Review for $2 Canadian. Here's my ad revenue for the month. JB, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, but thank you.
Very, very kind. And folks, approaching 1,400 in the audience. Appreciate every single one of you. We see you. We recognize you. An attitude of gratitude here. We never take a single person for granted. If you would not mind, help us out. Click that like button. Let's get that thing over 500 and tell YouTube this is the place to be, because it really, really is, as we are now closing in quite a bit on making the announcement. We're getting guests ready, and then we're going to make that announcement, and I think you all are going to enjoy it. Jonas, let's take care of any remaining super chats, and then we'll get
on the move. Price of Reason for $2. I figured out the announcement, but I won't spoil. Well,
there was a snafu that may have given it away early, and then there's been some chatter that I will say some people out there have figured out what's happening, but I don't think it's the majority out there. And if you do know it, just stay quiet, please.
The chatter doesn't come out until Thanksgiving dinner.
That's right. That's right.
Michelle C., member for 7 months. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, as always. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Tell us already.
Well,
that's more aggressive than Michelle usually is.
That's right. Well, we are happy to tell as we talk 1,400. Before we do, though, very important question for the panel real quick. Gentlemen, the poll right now shows that brown gravy is winning 83% over the white gravy question. Which gravy do you prefer, though, on your squished spuds, your mashed potatoes? Vash, which way do you say this should go?
Got to go with the brown.
Brown gravy man culture.
Yeah, I prefer that over the white gravy. I'll eat both, but honestly, if a bird is and potatoes and everything are properly prepared, you don't need that stuff.
That's an excellent point.
That's right. You just drink your gravy on the side, you know.
That's right. I mean, you get a mug
it's like a milkshake.
Then...
I love how all of our non-American friends are probably wondering if that's actually how things go in America.
So that's what's up with their waistlines. Now I see.
The Canadians, they drink syrup. We drink turkey gravy. That's right.
64-ounce big gulp of white Colonel's gravy. I don't know. Does
All right.
Colonel even make white gravy? I don't know. Jonas, what do you say?
I say one more. Fat Stephen JFG for $2 Canadian. Do I get health benefits? Hasn't Trudeau already? Doesn't he just visit you and do your doctor's visits, Stephen? I thought that's how that worked down there, up there.
Once a year, he knocks on your door or comes down your chimney and gives you a health checkup, right?
I thought it was either him or Rick Moranis.
There you go.
Oh, and Dash Rendar for $2. Kathleen Banks, Ovarian Armada will hopefully end.
The Ovarian Armada. I like that.
That's the right way. Thank you, Dash Rendar.
Wow.
We only need now some sort of rank inside that armada that features the word estrogen. So if you can come up with a military rank that features a play on the word estrogen, please provide it to us.
Well, let's see. Vader's Star Destroyer was called an Executor. That's really close to estrogen. There's probably some combination of
Here
those.
we go. Here.
Oh, here we go.
Altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
There you go. That's part of the Ovarian Armada right there.
That's the thing. A lot of us can do James Earl Jones impressions, but you have to get to the point where you can say it with that aggression, that pray I don't alter it any further. I can't do James Earl Jones.
You went a little Palpatine-ish there, I think.
Oh, Palpatine's easy.
Estro General?
Fat Stephen JFG for $2 Canadian. I hope Kathleen Kennedy is under your bed tonight. I think that's revenge.
Check the closet, Mom. Check the closet.
Big Daddy MRI gifted a super sticker, $150, and it is a little bit of popcorn there. Oh man, Big Daddy, we are almost there. My goodness, they keep coming. Freddie Kurgan Nemo for $10. Have you apologized to Pamela yet for falsely insinuating that she said the Marvels was the second worst drop off when she said that it was the worst second weekend drop off?
Well, if we got that wrong, then we will definitely. That's Pamela McClintock. Folks, and if I misread her statement, we'll definitely go back and issue an apology. I think if you watch the video, if I did misread it, I know exactly what he's talking about. If I did misread it, I think it's clear that I didn't understand, and that seldomly happens. But we'll go back and check the tape and see what happened there. There was a weird sentence that made me think that Pamela was suggesting that the Marvels was both the worst superhero drop ever in the second weekend and the second worst Marvel MCU second weekend drop. And I thought, now wait a minute, these two things cannot be true. One of these cannot be right. So we'll go back and check it, Freddie. Thank you for the super chat and let us know. We believe in being held accountable, so we'll check it out.
Just know it's bad.
First of all, changer of ways.
BAD.
Always insightful. For $2, Estro General.
The Estro Generals are here.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Jillian N. Hello, Jillian. Good to see you. And also, thank you so much for the 10 WDW Pro memberships. You are too kind.
Wow. Well, the what would you say here? The accolades just continue. The happiness. You know what, Jonas? Keep going with the super chats. I won't even interrupt now. They're continuing.
Yeah, you shut your big yap, WDW. Pro. Don't you know that people are excited that I'm reading their super chats? Big Daddy MRI gifted 10. What? How many does that make now? Is that 15? Is that 20?
He's going up there. He's climbing the ladder.
And Red Tigress, thank you so much. Gifted 10 more. WDW.
You all haven't even heard the announcement yet. There's only one thing I can say back to this, as folks out there are accepting their memberships and getting that exclusive content. By the way, we've got a big one coming out tomorrow, and the discussion about Westerns, one of the most recent member exclusive videos, was a huge success. But we've got a big one coming out. But as you guys accept those memberships, there's only one way to respond to this.
I want to hear it.
Not right now.
Yes, now, Dusty Bun.
Wait. Okay.
That's right, folks. You gifted those memberships and you earned it. We got Tom Cruise on the dance floor. It's a big day. Ow!
You know, I never thought people would be this excited to learn that we got the rights to the Wuzzles.
They're the Wuzzles. Ooh, yeah.
That's a property I could do something with.
Listen, Jay, they'll milk it. Don't give them a chance. They'll milk it.
like a gravy boat. Jay for $5. Speaking of gravy, some people still don't know why the giblet bag is provided with some turkeys.
Listen, guys, I'm not putting a poll up about giblets. If somebody, there's a reason that there's never another day of the year that someone comes to you and says, "Hey, you want to come over to my place? We're cooking giblets." Like, that's never been the opening to a successful party.
Well, you've obviously never been to Zephyr Hills, Florida.
Did any of you guys see the gravy boat shaped roller coaster train that was?
Oh, at IAPA?
IAPA,
yeah. That was strange. I was kind of hoping it had actual gravy coming off of it, but yeah, a gravy boat style roller coaster car for a ride. That is, let me tell you, Disney's got some competition there.
Well, Jonas, do we have any more super chats right now?
We do not currently, but
all right, well, we better get to that announcement before this keeps going then. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, in that case, folks, it is time. Let's go ahead and get everything ready. And checking a few boxes here before we announce it. Make sure everything's running right.
Clicking it, yeah. Reticulating splines.
Mm-hmm.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed. Pro, how long do you need me to vamp for here?
Well, I think, honestly,
if you kill
I
a man,
think we're just about ready.
Steam rises up from his wounds. The Indians believe this was his soul escaping his body.
All right,
well, let's... a crazy thing before this night. What are we talking about?
Here's what I need for everybody to do as we top 1,700 in the audience. I assume we'll get to probably 2,000 given the excitement and how many of you are clicking the like button. It is time for the big announcement. We are closing in on 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. In order to bring this announcement to the public, folks, I need you to fill the chat with the drum emojis. We need the snare drums everywhere. So let's fill it with the drums. Let's get it going. It's like Christmas Vacation when they're out there in the yard and joy.
Hey, there's actual emojis on the screen. Look at that. This seems like a great time to announce that Park Place does also have a live stream at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, by the way.
That's right. All right, I'm seeing those drums. Here we go. All right, folks. I guess it's time. All right, let's scroll down. We now have a new article which has just appeared in the last few moments on thatparkplace.com, and here is what it says. From TPP Newsroom, John Trent is now editor-in-chief of That Park Place. New design and features are coming January 1st, 2024. That Park Place is preparing for another major step in covering pop culture news and analysis. Today, we're making a major change that we expect to alter the landscape of news coverage. Press release at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time today, which means, folks, we are 2 minutes ahead of the press release. You learned it here first.
You heard it here.
That Park Place is pleased to announce that John Trent has been named the editor-in-chief of That Park Place with a multi-year plan to transform content and coverage of pop culture news and analysis. Mr. Trent will be working with the That Park Place team to redesign the site, generate the highest quality entertainment coverage of pop culture on the web, and add a significant number of new features across the site. John joins That Park Place not only on the website, but is now an official partner and collaborator on That Park Place's YouTube channel, the wdwpro YouTube channel, and other That Park Place News Network partners. John is also launching a brand new YouTube channel, which will facilitate even more news coverage, The Trent Report. So, folks, make sure you check out The Trent Report on YouTube. We'll have the link in the chat in just a moment. John Trent is the founder of Bounding Into Comics, one of the premier entertainment and pop culture websites in North America. And may I say, folks, that based on what we know about Bounding Into Comics, millions and millions and millions of readers every single month, we suspect. And as a result, this is a huge, huge pickup for That Park Place. He served as editor-in-chief from 2014 to 2023. During his tenure at Bounding Into Comics, John saw overwhelming growth of the site, both in terms of readership and cultural impact. Entire YouTube channel ecosystems grew into phenomenal success, in part by reading and analyzing John's articles as a key component of their content delivery. John also served as editor-in-chief for Bounding Into Sports in 2022. John Trent is currently the host of a burgeoning auto racing-centric YouTube channel, John Trent Racing, as well as the brand new pop culture and entertainment-focused YouTube channel, The Trent Report. Over the last month, That Park Place has seen website traffic increase by more than quadruple as our team has prepared for a major transition. We anticipate that number to steadily increase even further as John's incredible and one-of-a-kind talents are expressed with an already impressive team of authors and contributors. Folks, that is the news today. The big announcement is that John Trent, the founder of Bounding Into Comics, has moved on, and he is now with thatparkplace.com. So we are very happy to have John Trent aboard. If you go check out thatparkplace.com, you will see that we have a ton of articles all over the place right now. Everything from Brie Larson teases more stories for Marvel to Disneyland features massive list of holiday food items. A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and Garfield's Thanksgiving are must-watch traditions that by stuttering guitarist. Miss Marvel actress Iman Vellani responds to the Marvels. We also have one by me down here. Disney had 5 of the worst flops in all of history in 2023 alone, and the list keeps going. Well, folks, it is time for us to now welcome aboard for the very first time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the new editor-in-chief of thatparkplace.com, John F. Trent. Sir, welcome in the new role.
Thank you. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I think we've got a lot in common, and we're going to change the shape of pop culture as it stands now.
John, I want to ask you, how did you get into this in the first place? A lot of people know Bounding Into Comics. Some people don't know John F. Trent, but you're the guy who has been literally pushing pop culture in a positive direction for years. You've often been the only one. You have been the source of many YouTube channels having the success they have simply by reading what you have written. How did you get started?
Yeah, so it's not that glamorous. I was bored doing my 9 to 5, and I started a website where I was just going to review comics, and that's kind of how I started the website. And from there, I started kind of seeing where the culture was going, how it was kind of going on a downward trend, and I started criticizing it a lot from what was going on. I think one of the big breaking points was kind of the Spider-Woman cover that Milo Manaro did, which is just a normal Spider-Woman cover. But people threw a big hissy fit about that. And then there was a Batgirl variant cover that was an homage to Killing Joke, where Joker has his like hand around Barbara Gordon. And those are like the 2 big things that we kind of really started doing some criticism on that. And then obviously we branched out into kind of general pop culture outside of comic books, probably around like 2018, 2017, and have never really looked back from there. And I'm really looking forward to bringing my talents to that Park Place and continuing to do what I did over at Bounding Into Comics, but taking it to the next level as well.
John, what are you most proud of in the past many years that you have been, I mean, literally, you have been the sole voice at times in digital press. And people out there need to understand that it's not only that you tell the truth, but telling the truth and having that be visible is exceedingly difficult when you're trying to portray reality in a way that doesn't align with the corporate narrative. What are you most proud of in the last few years that you've accomplished?
I think it's just seeing other people kind of flock to the banner and realizing that they're not alone, and that there are other voices out there, and kind of creating this kind of fandom around that, and letting people know that, okay, we don't like a lot of this stuff, and seeing a lot of the people kind of like band together. I think that's what I really like to see, and I'm kind of proud of, and kind of building that kind of community with Bounding Into Comics and everything from there.
And John, tell us a little bit about what your vision is for thatparkplace.com now that it is under your direction. And we're very proud of this ecosystem that we're building, the ecosystem of all of these partnership YouTube channels, the stuff you folks out there love, like Culture Casino, Valiant Renegade. We've got Lorena Creole. And now, John, you're heading up the digital print side of this so that we're taking on the corporate narrative there. What's your vision?
Yeah, so my vision is we're going to continue the hard-hitting coverage that I did previously over at Bounding Into Comics, and we're going to extend it because we're going to be able to we have more resources now here to kind of cover some of the different topics, especially the financial stuff, the parks. Culture has really good analysis on a lot on both of those. Vash as well. We've got Jonas doing the investigative reporting. He's got Hugh Johnston following him on X.
I mean, what?
What?
You guys are going to have to explain that so the folks out there understand. John, what does that mean? Explain it a little bit.
Yeah, so Hugh Johnston is the new CFO of the Walt Disney Company.
So he's second highest in the hierarchy, right?
Yeah, right behind Bob Iger. It's believed that he was brought in as a kind of someone who can kind of fend off Nelson Peltz and what they're looking at over there with kind of this hostile takeover that potentially could be happening, or the proxy battle that's going to be coming up here soon. And looks like he's following Jonas and Jonas's excellent coverage that he's been providing on That Park Place on the YouTube channel, as well as his investigative reporting that he's provided on the site previously.
Yeah,
it's amazing to me. Yeah,
that's a weird one. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. He unfollowed me very shortly after, I think.
I did not know we were going to show this to the world right now, but yes, folks.
Yes,
there is the photographic screenshot evidence that the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of the Walt Disney Company, did indeed follow Jonas J. Campbell. Usually, put that back up there, Jonas. Don't hide that now. Usually, when the highest level employees of major corporations want to see what we're saying, they do so under a burner account. And so I suspect that Hugh Johnston maybe thought he was on a burner account, and then that needed to be fixed quickly. And Jonas, you were so intrepid that you caught this immediately and saved the screenshot and all of that. And I think that this is absolute evidence, folks, that you all supporting this channel and the partner channels and the website, this is actually making a difference. When the CFO of the Walt Disney Company is following Jonas, and probably now following with a burner account, I think it shows that your voices are being heard, and we're proud to deliver that message for you. We view this as a community effort to bring sensibility back to the corporations.
Definitely over target, I would say.
Yeah, that was also a very big surprise on a Sunday morning. It's like, I recognize that name.
Seen that guy before. Seen that guy.
Yep.
Well, John, it's a great pleasure to have you now running thatparkplace.com, of course, and I don't think that I'm sharing anything that's inappropriate or offensive to say that you've probably, in the past few years, for those out there who might not know what a big deal it is for John Trent to become the editor-in-chief of That Park Place, you've probably had readership in the tens and tens of millions, I would suspect. Is that fair to say that you probably have had that kind of impact?
Yeah, definitely. We had... Our readership was huge over at Bounding Into Comics. I can't really go into the details on the exact numbers and everything like that, but we had really strong readership. If you look at SimilarWeb, you can see the kind of the numbers there that they have publicly posted that are kind of estimates, and they're around there. And so yeah, our readership was really strong, and we also it's not just the readership as well either, because we had people that would read our articles on YouTube, and then those YouTube videos are going super viral. We have people like Lauren Chen, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Gary from Nerdrotic, George the Giant Slayer, Drunk 3PO. I mean, Ryan Kinnell, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I mean, so many people would read our articles, see what was going on in the news, and give their opinion on what was happening as well, based on our reporting.
Absolutely. And folks, what this is all about, of course, is we have to have a place that is not controlled by the corporations, where we can tell the truth as best we can see it on the ground, lay the facts bare. And That Park Place is privately owned. It is not owned by a corporation. We're not going to sell That Park Place to a corporation. And this is going to stand now. This is our flag in the sand. John Trent is the man. There's nobody better than John Trent on the planet when it comes to providing the truth about pop culture and the industry. John Trent's now with us. We've put our flag in the sand. Here we stand. We are going to deliver pop culture news and analysis every single day without ceasing. And we've got more announcements about this website coming up. We're going to redesign and have a bunch of new features starting January 1st of this year. So we've got a few weeks left to get even more of this stuff going. And I do want to say, folks, that some of that also is going to be tied into the 50K celebration on my channel. So once we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to announce some of those new features, but we're also building a place where the community can come together and talk freely. And we are going to be a bastion of free speech for consumers. If they're, we could sit around and complain about the situation in the world, or we can do something about it. And we intend to do something about it. So that's the story. That's the big announcement, folks. John Trent joining thatparkplace.com now as the editor-in-chief. moving from Bounding into Comics to that Park Place. We'll have more announcements. We'll have more authors potentially announced in the future, and we look forward to bringing all of that to you. John, any final thoughts before we move into the news of the day?
I'm just really excited for what we have planned going into January. Jonas Pro and I have been really had some really good discussions about what we have planned. And just to let you know, I'm really excited about it. These are things that I kind of wanted to implement at Bounding into Comics and just wasn't able to. So I'm really looking forward to what we can do here and how we can continue to grow our community and be a voice of change in pop culture.
I'm
Absolutely
so excited. When we started these conversations, my mind was blown at the thought that we were going to get to work with John Trent and that we were all going to. I was excited when we started collaborating in the first place, but when this started happening, it was very difficult for me to not just shout to the rooftops, "Hey, Andre over at Midnight's Edge. Hey, Jay over at Drunk 3PO. Hey, George Molo, George the Giant Slayer." I wanted to tell everybody, guys, we've got something big going on. We could do some real good here. But we are getting some comments and some questions here. I wanted to throw this one up because I love it from CC Karaoke, a mod and a good friend of the channel. If the Corp owns Boardwalk, you got to keep that Park Place. I love that.
Exactly
I'm going to remember
right.
that forever. And then Space Dave 2000 says, so does that include the YouTube channel or just the website? John, do you want to take the editing and producing of the YouTube channel off my hands too?
No, I'll let you have that.
Oh, thank you. I do enjoy it, but I gotta say, folks, it's a lot of work. Oh, and
right,
hey, there's
right.
Jay. I didn't see you there when I said this, but congrats, John. Awesome to see. Good to see you, Jay. So,
great to see you.
All right, do we want to get some super chats before we go to the next topic?
We better. We don't want to leave the super chats waiting, folks. We are going to get to news, though. It's coming up real shortly, and we have additional panelists coming on the scene, so hang tight. We're just getting started.
Yep. Sir Walking Tree became a member at the... actually, it doesn't say over here. Sorry, 1 second. But thank you for becoming a YouTube member for the WDW Pro channel. We appreciate you. Tommy Tables for $2.79 Canadian. No, but seriously, is it a new pack? It's a new pack of emojis, right? This was right about the time that we were putting all the drum roll emojis in the chat. Yeah. So Kenneth LaRoque sent in a member milestone chat for 3 months. Thank you for being here for 1 quarter. Olaf Van S for €2. John, congrats. They couldn't pick a better guy.
And we agree.
We agree.
Yep. And thank you, Olaf. Olaf is also one of our mods. We love Olaf. Price of Reason for $2. John Trent, congrats. And it's that party ball thing that I've only ever seen in video games. I'm convinced they don't really exist in real life. That Service Dog Show became a member, upgraded to Premium. All right.
Very
so
happy
much.
to have you.
Very cool.
Folks, we'll be having a member-exclusive live stream next week where Premium and VI Pro members are able to join the panel. So we're very excited about having that coming up soon as well.
And Pro Topics for $5 says, do you guys already have design devs working on the new site? We do have some people working on that right now. Yes, we do.
And you may notice that it does not look as it did, but even more changes are coming, and we're working on some big stuff that I presume will be announcing in very early December, especially on that side of giving the community a place for free speech to exist permanently that is essentially non-cancelable. That's the next step in this evolution.
Right. That's the thing that I really want to emphasize is this is announcement number 1 on the way to announcements 2 through 8. We've got that emphasis on multi-year plan. Yes, we've got more things coming, and we need this to work because I need some help. Jay gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you so much, Jay. I almost lost it there. I had to go back and dig, but thank you so much, Jay. You're so generous. And hey, and look at that. Also, Araxis gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Holy moly, you guys are excited today.
We may have to do a member-exclusive interview with John or something. I don't know. Who knows what might happen over the next few days?
No, we'll do it on the... yes, Pro, talk about this. This is important.
Well, I just want to remind everybody that the John Trent Report, brand new YouTube channel, brand new partner channel with That Park Place News Network. We're going to have content coming out. John, are we going to have a video later today out of the Trent Report, do you think, or was that moved to tomorrow?
I got it done.
Okay, excellent. Well,
Yeah.
folks, at the end of this, and John, you've got that on a premiere, right?
Yeah, I have it set for a premiere at 7:30.
Well, folks, what that means then is that at the end of this show, we are going to redirect to the first ever Trent Report YouTube channel video for a live premiere. You're going to get to see it the moment it happens as we welcome aboard the new editor-in-chief and his new YouTube channel associated with That Park Place. So very excited. And I see Olaf says he is sub number 37.
Awesome.
I'd love for
Wow.
you to subscribe to the Trent Report. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
He's
How awesome.
37.
All right, Jonas, let's get to... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead with that one, and then we need to move on to the news.
Black Saber for $5. A great politician once said, "A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one." And I want to get to Big Daddy MRI. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Black Saber, and I love the quote.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Big this one is hard to pronounce in my native tongue, but I think it sounds like something like that.
Fantastic.
That's either a truck with air brakes on or it's Chewbacca. I'm going with Chewbacca.
It sounded like Chewbacca to me.
All right.
All right. Well, in that case, folks, it's time to get to more news. It's why you come here, for the news to be explained, for entertainment to be broken down. Well, they break themselves down, but hey, we'll get at it right now. And we start off with this article right here. Out of Variety, it says Iman Vellani says the Marvels flopping at the box office is for Bob Iger to focus on, not her. What's the point, she says? That has nothing to do with me. So young Iman Vellani says that none of the box office problems for the Marvels has anything to do with her. Let's read the article and see if they are misrepresenting in the headline for clicks. Surely Zach Sharf would never do such a thing. Or perhaps Iman Vellani is starting to not be so excellent with the press. Let's see. We'll be fair as always. The Marvels is shaping up to the biggest box office flop in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that's no concern for star Iman Vellani. The 21-year-old actor makes her big screen debut in the superhero tentpole by reprising her role of Kamala Khan from the Disney Plus television series Miss Marvel, which, by the way, nobody watched that either. And yet we still like Iman Vellani because she's just positive, I tell you. In an interview with Yahoo Entertainment following the movie's disastrous opening weekend, wasn't that a bad one? Well, wait till they find out about the second. Vellani said the Marvels flopping is an issue for Disney's CEO Bob Iger and not for her. I don't want to focus on something that's not even in my control because what's the point, she said. That's for Bob Iger. The box office has nothing to do with me. I'm happy with the finished product and the people that I care about enjoyed the film. Does that conversely mean that the people who didn't enjoy the film are people that she doesn't care about? I don't know. It's genuinely a good time watching this movie, and that's all we can ask for with these films. It has superheroes. It takes place in space. It's not that deep. Let's all say that again, folks. It's not that deep. And it's about teamwork and sisterhood. It's a fun movie, and I'm just so happy that I can share it with people. All right, so let's find out. Panel, what do you think? Is the press being a little harsh with Iman Vellani, or is she stuck in an undesirable situation, a predicament where whatever she gets asked, there's no right answer to any of this anymore because, as I've said before, it's like calling in a doctor to discuss cholesterol at a funeral home. It's too late.
That's a great way of putting it right there. Yeah, you know, Iman is I think is a bright spot in this whole kind of thing that's going on, right? I mean, she's so bubbly, she's so genuine, she's so wonderful. Please don't be corrupted by Hollywood. You know, that's what we're all hoping for. You know, it's interesting. Now that the strike is over, I've seen my feed on Twitter just obliterated with all these celebrity quotes and everybody's twisting everything and. You know, what is it? The press is entertainment press is pouncing on everything everybody says, and it's just
pouncing again. Yes.
You know they don't pounce on themselves though, Vash. You know what? You never see the press come out and say, "Oh, here's the 57 articles we wrote in favor of what they were doing with the MCU, with Phase 4 and 5. Here's how we screwed up entirely. Here's how we're utterly divorced from the market. Here's how we don't understand North American society whatsoever." Here's how we don't understand the world that we enter when we exit our front door and out of the college campus that coddled us.
Right. right?
I would assume a lot of these people didn't go to college, but I don't know.
Instead, if it bleeds, it leads, and we'll just leave all of that.
This bleeds. This bleeds, all right. And
one of the things I found interesting about this is that she pretty much blows up the press's narrative about the actors are the ones who are going to drive the box office up, because she's like, yeah, that's not really my job. I don't really have a lot to do with the box office. That's on Bob Iger. I thought that was kind of funny.
That is funny.
In addition, she defied the narrative, and she didn't say it was Bob Chapek's fault. So that's one bad point for her. I'm sure that's going to come up at her next performance review.
Hey, Bob Iger was the head of creative, right? He took the job after he set Chapek into motion right there. So does he have some blame for this? I think he does.
I think she has. She's more deft at handling press than any of her adult peers. I mean, I know she's 21, but I mean, if you look at put her up against other 20-somethings like Rachel Zegler or some 30-somethings like Brie Larson, I mean, she really has the chops to navigate what they're asking her, and be prepared for the pitfalls, of what they're actually looking for. They're looking for something quotable, so they can have a little clip. It's no different than the news media trying to find a soundbite. And in this case, I don't think she's given them much, so they've had to like really play around with what she says in order to have it fall within a particular narrative. And first of all, they're failing remarkably at that. But at least she understands the way the business works, more so than probably people who've been in it. Again, her peers that have been in it for maybe 10, 15, 20 years. And she's a newcomer. People don't realize. I mean, she got the job because she wrote an essay about Captain Marvel. She loved, the characters so very much. She'd never acted before. And they pulled her out of obscurity and turned her into this character. Well, I mean, it didn't hurt that she fit all of the little check boxes that they wanted, but she truly ended up being quite a joy and quite a find.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Her entire filmography is Marvel, and I'm not saying that as anything against her. Oh. Everyone needs their break, but
do you guys think it drives the media insane that we don't hate Iman Vellani because they expect that we will hate any young actress who comes out and makes a statement like this? Do you think that they does it blow their brains up that we sit here and say, no, she's cool, she's doing the best with what she's got?
Well, yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead, Coacher.
I was just going to say, I actually saw some content today that's a day old. A content creator went out there and started using all the typical, hate-laden slurs, people who have yet to have sex in their life. There's other words for that they use to try to cast aspersions. But honestly, I see that, and it's so disingenuous. You have to look at things in such a craven way, and so, more cynical than anybody I've seen on that covers it from our perspective. And it's so narratively driven, and it's untrue, and that's why nobody can cite examples when they're putting these videos or articles or things together. Kelly Marie Tran was run off the internet by a bunch of terrible right-wing extremist trolls, and I'm like, you have some documents or just a couple statements?
That's not necessary. That's culture. They don't need backing for the narrative. Of course not.
Well, anyway, I just thought it was unique. Anyway, I interrupted you, Vash. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I mean, I think you said it pretty well. If you genuinely believe what you write, what you put out there, what you present as the narrative, right? Yeah, I think there is one of these things that's like, well, wait a minute, they're not attacking this gal. Maybe they'll cherry pick some, tweets out of somewhere in order to create that narrative. But yeah, Pro, I think you might be onto something here. Obviously, the reactions of so many people are just don't simply comport to their reality, so they might be frustrated.
I do want to add one more thing here, is that I am sure that Iman Vellani has gotten some horrible comments sent her way. I am 100% sure of it. And maybe we've seen a few ourselves. Now, from a marketing standpoint for a film, it is a completely different tack when you have an actor or actress who says positive things about the people who have made the film and also the people who might watch the film than everything that we've seen with the strategy with Moses Ingram or any other number of films, especially with Rachel Zegler, how they go in and they say, you know what, if you don't like this, you're a horrible person. Well, if you don't like the Marvels and you're a horrible person, then I think you have said pretty much everyone on the planet, with a very small percentage, maybe 3 million people on the planet, other than the people who watch the Marvels, are horrible by that definition. You cannot give such a clear test to say, is this a good movie? No, you're horrible. No, this is a horrible movie, and no one needs to make anyone feel bad for liking or disliking this piece of corporate marketing.
What do you think about this strategy, though, of turning it on the CEO? I've never heard a young actress or actor do this. She had the opportunity to throw mud at the fans and say, you know, the world is bigoted, the world is awful, it's filled with a bunch of ists, and she didn't do that. Instead of throwing it at the fans, she said, I like the movie, we had fun making the movie, it's about things that I like, and it's up for the boss to figure out when it fails. And I think that's an interesting strategy, to literally call out Bob Iger by name. She could name anybody. She didn't name her director. She didn't name Nia DaCosta. She didn't name her co-stars. She threw it on Big Bob. What do you guys think about that?
Buck stops with him.
Yeah.
She's just agreeing with him, isn't it? She's just agreeing with him.
That's right.
I mean, he's like John said here. He's the big boss, right? It all stops with him. That's actually what he said, right? to what was it? Who was he talking to again back in the day when he said that quote? The buck stops here. Was it Hollywood Reporter or somebody like that? Anyway, doesn't matter. He has taken creative ownership of output. He likes to be the front man for all these different things and get all the credit. Well, she's just kind of laying it at his feet and saying, "Hey, this is this is your doing right here." Even though you have Alan Bergman coming out and talking about the 2024, 2025 slates and so forth. Bob Iger, like I said before, he placed himself as the head of creative when he handed off the reins to Chapek. And so a lot of these decisions, a lot of these movies that are in production, a lot of these creative decisions that were made, they went through him. So I think she might be spot on here.
Well, it's interesting. We'll be covering it. We'll be following. I suspect that as things get worse, that these actors and actresses are going to have a hard time. Kevin Feige especially. Why is Kevin Feige not getting these questions? And I might like it more if Miss Villani were to say, talk to Feige. He's in charge. Who knows?
It has been interesting. He's been kind of quiet recently. Usually he does like a post film interview with like Entertainment Weekly or the Hollywood Reporter or Variety. We haven't really seen any of that. I think the last one we saw was after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where he was basically like, yeah, we're basically cutting back on all of our TV shows and our movies because we're spending too much money and we got to space them out. And we haven't heard anything really from him in a while. I guess he was at the Las Vegas party, but it was very controlled. I think he gave one interview to Entertainment Tonight, and that's pretty much all I saw.
Well, I have a suspicion, John, why that might be, as the ticker changes at the bottom. And
now, before we do that, I do want to talk about this comment from Tom Connors. He was saying that I believe it was an interview with Variety. And cool. In addition, we'd like a little bit more variety on this panel. And we're bringing in Tom Connors from Midnight.
So you're bringing another white boy?
You never told me you were white.
Yeah.
All this time.
Don't tell nobody.
We thought you were Polish. Wait a minute, that's why. Never mind. Someone needs to explain this to me.
I've been misled.
Well, as we go on, one of the reasons we might not be hearing from Kevin Feige is difficult questions are going to be asked, possibly about this article we're looking at right now out of comicbookmovie.com. Folks, we're going to have to be careful even as we cover this and how we cover this, given the platform in which we exist. Comicbookmovie.com says the Marvels reportedly cut a scene confirming Carol Danvers and Valkyrie were in a relationship. This by Mark Cassidy. It says Valkyrie's, that's Tessa Thompson's, cameo in the Marvels led to some speculation that the King of New Asgard may have been romantically involved with Carol Danvers. And the movie reportedly cut a scene that would have confirmed that they are or were in a relationship. In the Captain Marvel sequel, Carol calls on Valkyrie to help relocate some Skrull refugees, a scene which nobody cared anything about. And the scene they share certainly seems to suggest that they are very close. Oh, very close indeed. It doesn't outright confirm anything, but there is clearly a strong emotional connection, and Valkyrie plants a big old smooch on Carol's cheek as she departs. Now we can get some toast. We've heard about that account before. Revealed several moments, plot points that were filmed but didn't appear in the final film. Isn't it interesting, by the way, that Can We Get Some Toast came out and said some stuff that the media didn't like, and they had community notes on Can We Get Some Toast, and rained. Was that Can We Get Some Toast, or that was another one, Jonas?
No, they work in
My
tandem.
Time to Shine.
My time to shine. Hello. Yes.
But isn't it funny how these accounts that leak this stuff early, and we've done that a few times here, but they leak this stuff early. Isn't it funny how when they put stuff out that the media wants to be able to write about, they love them. They're absolutely 100% accurate. And when they put something out that they don't like, well, hit them with the community labels. Slander them to no end. It's so funny. But yeah, so this looks like, if we are to believe this rumor, that Marvel did indeed cut LGBTQIA+++ content from the Marvels. Tom, I'm going to go with you first. Be careful on how we discuss this, but what do you make of the idea that Marvel is running scared when it comes to perhaps Turning Red, Strange World, Lightyear kind of stuff?
Look, I think it's hilarious in a sense that it just goes to show that they can pretend all day long they're going to try and ride this pony till it dies. And they may very well do that publicly for the most part. But right here's proof that shows that they already know. They know that this stuff is not going to fly. And at the end of the day, this is just another sign that the reason why people aren't showing up is because they don't trust Disney anymore. And they're going to have a long road ahead of them of editing a lot of stuff out of their next few features and trying to make movies that are more family oriented over the next few years to gain that audience back, because that's kind of where they're at right now with this whole thing. Because the other movies are out there that people are seeing and are making money, but the audience for Marvel in general has lost the trust of the brand and Disney and on top of it all.
Well, I think so. I think the other thing that's going to come out of this is there's going to be an argument about, well, it did so poorly. Should they have just left it in? And, as bad as this movie is, if it could have drawn in a few people based on that, we're at the point now where it's so low that you could make the argument, and I might say, you know what? If this had been an anthem film for that particular demographic, that might actually outdo nobody going to see it. And nobody went to see this.
Is this why this story is being leaked out at this time? Do you think, Pro? The fact that maybe it's some creative behind the scenes going, well, if only we were able to put this in here.
I definitely think that it's time to start the blame game and start throwing the mud. And here's why it failed. It failed because they wouldn't let the girls smooch. If only Bree and Valkyrie had smoochified right on the lips. Oh, the people would have come in because they want to see Bree. They want to see Bree in love, not on Bollywood Planet singing to a platonic man.
You know what's so odd about all of this? The fact that Victoria Alonso actually in this Empower series that was on Disney Plus, which I watched, I can't believe it, but I did watch it. It was basically her talking about herself. It was produced by Victoria Alonso about Victoria Alonso. And they talked about the fact that Brie Larson Captain Marvel and Maria Rambeau, which is the mother character, that they were specifically a platonic relationship. This was within the last year. They confirmed that this was a platonic relationship, and they intentionally left it out of the film. This is also the person who felt like it was despicable for changes to be made in the edit on Ant-Man in the Wasp Quantumania to store signs so that they could release the film in, Qatar or something like that. So I think that they have actually taken a character that they might have been intending to be straight and gone ahead and wavered back and forth on this issue. I don't understand what is going on with people who view this as a virtue or people who view this as a marketing thing. Like, are you trying to signal that this is something better? Are you trying to tell quote unquote authentic stories? Or is it what I think it actually is you view this as a marketing thing to get you more dollars in seats because you think you are quote unquote on the right side of history?
great points, and I'm not advocating that they should have made this be that type of content. I just think it's fascinating now that all the finger wagging and the blame that's going to happen, this has got to be one of the funniest ones to watch as the media tries to find some sort of blame that could possibly put them back in the most virtuous position. And they're going to have a really hard time with it.
Yeah, assuming this is true and everything did play out the way it did, I'm surprised that Disney would cut something out like this. Now, if Kareem Daniel was still there, maybe it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, but we know that he's been gone from the company for quite some time. I'm going to throw it to the panel here. Frozen 3 or maybe possibly 4 is coming out here soon. The big rumor is that, Elsa will find a love interest of the same gender as her. Do we think that is like as much of a possibility now, especially with the story being leaked, as it was before? Or perhaps this plays into that a little bit?
I think Disney would love nothing more than to make Elsa be an iconic character of that sort, and to also scrub it from China so that it gets released there. They would love to play both sides of that card.
I mean, if you want, this is obviously something they were pushing for in Frozen 2. And then it's a similar situation. If you look at the way that Carol Danvers' character looks at Valkyrie, we have similar moments in Frozen 2 of her looking at the First Nations tribe or whatever that's in Frozen 2. The one that was oppressed by the white colonialist Arendelle people who had to atone for their sins of taking over another country. Yeah, that one didn't slip by me there, Disney. Yes, you made a very woke film, even if you didn't put any gender ideology in it.
Well, and the solution was to eliminate every single one of the townspeople in Frozen 2. The only thing that saved them was that an event outside of Anna's knowledge happened and they all left their towns. But otherwise, she's ready to off every single one of her kingdom to pay atonement for the natives. And it's just, when you put any thought into it, you realize this is unethical to the highest levels.
She's ready to perform a deleting act to an entire city of people in order to atone for colonial wrongs. So thanks, Disney.
Delete aside.
There you go.
I think you've invented something now, Culture. I appreciate delete aside. Well, we shall not commit delete aside to the super chats, which have been coming in rapidly in light of the big news, of course, that for those of you just joining us, John Trent is now the editor-in-chief of thatparkplace.com, having completed his tenure at Bounding into Comics. And we intend to have even more news about thatparkplace.com coming out January 1st, as it will be relaunching with a new design and all sorts of things. Viewership has already quadrupled, I think, in just the past few weeks. And John is ready to get to work revolutionizing the way that we're going to cover pop culture and news entertainment and truly change the internet, I think, and change where people go to find that news. All right, let's get to the super chats. Jonas.
Sir Walking Tree, I want to apologize for not getting it earlier. Sir Walking Tree upgraded to the profound level. So thank you very much.
That is a quality beard.
Awesome.
Did you see that beard?
Oh,
that is a quality beard.
Man,
I like it.
Gosh.
Mac.
Makes the men of Middle Earth jealous.
Mac, the now it's known Twitter handle, Mac, free speech allows honest speech. We want to shout out Mac at any opportunity we can. Absolutely a Twitter handle of quality.
Sean does a great job with the Nielsen numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mac is kind of like John in terms of, John did this with digital print. Mac is doing this with the social media accounts. This is a guy, ladies and gentlemen, that feeds so much knowledge, or girl, feeds so much knowledge to the rest of us and is an integral part of what we do. And we're greatly appreciative of Mac. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Sean, remember for 1 month as a trucker, the Wookiee sound is the Jake break.
So that's why you can't Jake break in certain places.
Yeah,
it all makes sense. It goes full circle. That's Jake Skywalker.
I don't understand this reference, but I do know we've got a long way to go in a short time to get there. Pro Topics for $5. Is there an email address I can write to about the web dev on TPP site?
You probably can, but let's start by If you could send an email.
I've got your Twitter handle if we don't want to talk about email addresses on the.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Jonas.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll DM you.
We're gonna reach
Changer of Ways.
Yeah, reach out to you.
For $2.
Tom, you've got squirrels. Squirrels in the
that
attic.
you, God?
Changer of Ways.
I swear I had the blanket over me. You couldn't see a thing.
Changer of Ways for $2. I don't know. I just work here, Iman, basically.
That's right.
I might ask her though. When did the Mongols rule China? And
I don't know. I just work here.
We're going to be careful with this one. Maverick Pilgrim for $4.99. Does anyone else remember Mohan Kapoor's allegations? Was there resolution? How was he allowed to continue to be in this movie's role?
Now that's a John question, although John's furrowed brow tells me he might not have the answer. John, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, that's the actor who played Kamala Khan's dad.
John, you're muted. You're mutified.
I see that. I have not followed this story all too well, so I'm not really up to date on this. So I can't really provide a solid answer on that.
He's been accused of harassing a minor. Let's say
okay. So that looked like it was
naughty
about a
nature
year ago.
Yeah.
It looked like it was about 1 year ago, and I have not seen a resolution to that publicly. So hopefully that means it's fine. As in, hopefully that means that
easy, Jonas,
easy happened.
Well, okay, but we will follow up. Maverick, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Tom was aware, I was not. We'll look into this, and if there's anything new on it, we'll bring it to you. If there's a situation of impropriety or a mishandling, let's say that Jonathan Majors is being treated one way and this gentleman is being treated the other way, then we'll also bring light to that. So thank you for that super chat.
All right. And Changer of Ways for $5 to John. What is the best honest search engine for news? I always find search results heavily weighted toward the corpos.
That's a good question.
Ooh.
That's a tough question. I don't know if there's really a solid search engine. I would probably say most of the traffic comes from Google still. There's a Google app. They have a thing called Discovery. That's where a lot of traffic is coming from to a lot of websites. As far as kind of what I use Google. I still think it's probably the best. I've used Brave and it always gives me terrible results for the things I'm looking for, especially if you're trying to like do a direct quote. It's awful. It doesn't give you direct quote, whereas like I can take a direct quote, plug it into Google, and it'll usually give me the primary source at least still, and I can still figure out ways to finagle Google for the most part to get the best results. So it's obviously not as good as what it used to be, but it's still probably the best one when it comes to actually getting what you want to search for without having to like go through like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different variations of keyword searches that you're trying to do. So at the end of the day, Google is probably still the best.
Yeah, and I think that DuckDuckGo is just Bing with a coat of paint on it. So
you know what I've learned from this, and taking a look at that question, I thought it would be funny to see if Ask Jeeves is still around. And
I was wondering that same thing myself.
Ask.com.
Yep. Paul for $5. Moms would make sure she's banned everywhere if Disney made Elsa gay or whatever. They want to destroy a franchise. That's the way they do it. We're having this discussion around Frozen 2 as well. It's just one of those things that Disney, hopefully they've kind of changed the tide on children's programming. But the question at Disney is the audience children or is the audience grown-ups, and they're hoping to give them the excuse that it's for children. So,
I would say that it's more risky than ever for Disney to make these kinds of changes now. And they have to know it. And everything they do, they've got to know it is Disney. Let's put it this way. There are 4 engines of content creation at Disney. Now we're not paying attention to ESPN right now because that's sports. That's something completely separate. But you've got Lucasfilm, Marvel, Pixar, Disney Animation. All 4 of their content creation engines are in critical danger. So you can't make a mistake. So everything they decide right now, I think, has got to be putting them on edge.
And I will say the creative rank and file of a lot of these studios are pushing for this kind of thing. So they're getting it from all sides. I'll put it that way. And moving on Turco the White, member for 3 months. Sorry, go ahead, John. I was joking about
I was just going to say, I mean, you're talking about the rank and files. We saw that when we saw the Pixar letter come out, was it last February, with all the Iger stuff and the bill in Florida and how Disney was opposing it. So yeah, we have evidence of that.
And we might be hearing phrases like "quiet the noise," but no, the rank and file, like Jonas said, the creatives, they're what drive the creative engine of this company. And even though they want to employ a strategy of reducing the output and reducing the volume and, you know, setting themselves on quality, you're still taking the same creatives who gave us some of these brain dead decisions and putting them on our projects. You're just moving around the chess pieces. So,
well, Jonas, let's put it in your wheelhouse here. Jonas, what? Talking about quieting the noise. What just happened with Young Jedi Adventures this year? The Star Wars shows for preschoolers. What happened, Jonas? Jonas, I'm giving you this so you can figure out how to walk
got an article
around
about that on that part.
Right.
Please.
Right. The phrase that we use in order to avoid it on the streams is you got two things here. You got digital, which is binary code. So sometimes we say analog. When you have analog characters in a children's show played by analog actors or actresses, I would not call that quieting the noise. Now, that being said, whatever they did to that show, I think it was a lot more explicit at first before it made it to air, because the actor or actress said, "I am the first analog whatever in Star Wars." And the show, it looks like the subtitle said they instead of he or she. And but it also sounded in the audio like that person said he. So I don't know. I would say it's quieting the noise, as in they're being more subtle about what they're putting in front of your kids, but they're still putting it in front of your kids. All of the things that they still had there, they're still going. And by the way, they're not going to have the censors, the TV censors at the FTC coming after them in the same way, because Disney Junior is going to be leaving a lot of cable packages soon. So they'll have different scrutiny, probably less scrutiny going forward on the governmental front. So real quick, Jonas, pull the super chat down. We may have some more super chats, and we're not doing that so to hide the super chat, but because to answer the super chat, I want to be able to read this article real quick. This by John Trent from That Park Place, and this is the first time that I've ever had the opportunity, and well, it's just a great moment to be able to read an article by Mr. Trent himself from That Park Place. But here's what it says. The Walt Disney Company clearly remains committed to propagandizing young people by introducing a particular character in one of their latest episodes of Disney Junior's Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. Goes on to talk about this. In the recently released episode Clash, the show's main character, Kai, is introduced to a rival character named Jovi Resmia by Master Zia. When Master Zia introduced Jovi, she says, "Today I'd like you to train with Jovi. They'll give you a different kind of challenge." The character is voiced by Bararia Rodriguez, an actor who seemingly claims to be, and then continues to explain their position. And then on X, there was a Twitter post that also spoke about the same issue. And so quieting the noise, folks, quieting the noise, whatever you might want to believe out there, whatever position you personally take on this sort of thing, we're here to analyze what Disney says and whether they actually mean it. We're here to analyze Disney's positions, and whatever Bob Iger might say, the actions of the company suggest that they are still interested in partaking in the cultural divide of the Western society. So,
and just to be clear, this was released this month. Like, this episode was released this month.
Yes.
So,
and
quieting the noise.
I agree with that. And the technique they usually do with shows like this is they'll release a first batch of episodes that's fine when parents might be watching at the same time and making their decision on whether or not it's okay to watch. And then the second batch of episodes will have the troublesome stuff in it. So, or maybe that's just a coincidence that all of this happens in a way that makes it easier to get it across the line.
Absolutely.
We see that across the board at other studios too. I mean, you'll see first seasons are actually somewhat decent, and then the second season is where they hammer you with the ideology and all that stuff, and it's because they think they've got you hooked. Now you're gonna continue watching, and then you're like, oh gosh, what did I get myself into?
Well, and that's funny because it's every single one of their products on Disney Plus. It's like, we're going to give you 2 okay episodes, and then in the third episode we're going to disappoint you, and then we'll do that till the very last episode. and then we might save it at the end. Probably not.
Isn't it kind of a meme now where it's like, part of your show that inevitably goes woke and it's got the guy going, that kind of thing?
Yeah, there was a time when I was thinking of putting a timer on my videos to say how far into an episode can you get? How far into the series can you get? Where there's some where it's like they introduce the character and there's no reason to say it, but the first thing out of their mouth is a confirmation of their identity in some way. And then there's other shows where, especially if it's a younger audience and it tends to skew younger, the longer it takes to say, oh, yeah, by the way, this person has two parents and one is a parakeet and the other is, American Samoan. Something that's like, huh? What is that? How does that work? But the story's about acceptance. Yeah.
Well, now, folks, I do want to take a moment to be very accepting of all of your kind generosity. First of all, something of high importance, of course. It appears that green bean casserole is indeed beating creamed corn for your favorite Thanksgiving foods. This is not the last poll we'll have, but we're going to give a chance to the folks out there who are on team corn, not the band, of course, the vegetable, or is it a fruit? Who knows? But it's a fruit. But we're going to give you a chance to battle it out. Green bean casserole currently in the lead with 57%, and brown gravy was a resounding success before that. We'll see how things go. Oh, dropping to 56%. The battle is on. It's like Mordor. But we'll cover that. Don't forget, though, folks, that at the end of this stream today, we are going to be sending you to the brand new YouTube channel, The Trent Report, as John Trent has become editor-in-chief of ThatParkPlace.com, having ended his tenure at Bounding the Comics and joining That Park Place. Another part of that is that a brand new YouTube channel is formed, The Trent Report, which becomes another one of the significant TPP News Network YouTube channels that you can't miss. We'll redirect at the end of this live stream to that automatically. You don't have to go anywhere. Make sure you subscribe to his content. We want to help John out as he is starting a new journey. We also want to say a huge thank you. We have steadily held over 1,400 people in the audience today, which is wonderful for a Monday, which is usually a bleak of all bleak kind of days, but no, not on Thanksgiving Day week. Many of you are already out of work. Some of the rest of you are looking forward to cranberry sauce real soon. And we also have over 1,000 likes. We want to thank every one of you who has helped make that possible and told YouTube this is the stream to watch. Jonas, I want to go to you. If we've got any super chats, we want to take folks out there. And
Torgo
we're
the
going
White.
to be joined by some new panelists in just a few, but we'll go ahead and do the super chats. And then we've got quite the topic up next.
All right, Torgo the White, member for 3 months. All hail God Emperor Millet, the Emperor protects. I've been seeing a lot of videos of, is this the new president of Argentina? Or Argentina, why did I say it that way?
Argentina.
There's a seismic shift in South America.
The guy, earlier I said he's got quite the haircut, but then I realized it's really not a haircut in any sense of the word, is it? The Tingler, 1959, doesn't matter.
It's got a Hugh Jackman look going on from I feel like it's got like a Wolverine look.
He's a manly gaucho.
Yeah. The Tingler, 1959 for $5. Doesn't matter. News on the left, news on the right, all come from the same place.
And the Tingler is actually correct, because the better way to frame this is it all comes from corporate news. It all comes from what the corporate narrative is supposed to be. That is why That Park Place is corporate free.
That's right. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2.
Speaking of South America,
blame economic
bad
venturists.
Bad people.
Yes. This one's a sad one. But Gong Shogi, $4.37 for $10. As I listen, I'm wrapping and storing all the Disney junk I've bought over the decades. Maybe it'll be worthy of something in a few years. Displaying it no longer brings me joy. I am sorry to hear that.
The only thing that I would say, and Culture, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I kind of feel like we all get there, right? I mean, at a certain point, something is we've reached our level of enjoyment, and nothing is going to be able to maintain it any longer. That's one way to lose faith. The other way is when something just continually disappoints you. And I think there are too many people in too many different ways being disappointed by Disney on the daily, that you have, unfortunately, a lot of people that are probably joining you in that endeavor.
Let me give you an analogy that is a little bit on the silly side, but it will ring true, I think, for many Texans out there. So the analogy I would give you here is that for a very long time, everybody in parts of Texas loved the San Antonio Spurs, the basketball team. They supported the Admiral. They supported Tim Duncan. They loved Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili and the rest. And then Greg Popovich started putting out his political positions. And everyone is free to hold their positions privately, but Greg Popovich was vitriolic. And he shook his hand at the cameras. He was the coach of the Spurs, of course. And we've seen this happen across many different areas, but there were a lot of people who decided that they had to put away their Spurs memorabilia. They had to set it aside. It no longer brought them joy. And I always think that's a very sad thing. So as best as you can, look back to the fun you had with those things. And if you can keep them out and have them continue to bring joy, then so be it. And if you can't, I hope you find something new to replace it. But I never understand why these companies and why these teams do this, or why these athletes or celebrities do it. I don't think anyone is going to, be burning your jersey if you just are moderate and friendly. It's when you go beyond that and you turn the people who disagree with you into darkness and evil. That's when those people no longer want to support you. They can't support you. So I would say avoid that if you're a company like Disney, or if you're a coach such as Greg Popovich. How's that also for a deep cut?
Yeah, this also ties into Charger the Comic number 2's super chat for $2. Hollywood crap is why baseball fandom is growing.
Don't you inspire baseball to follow them. Somebody knock on wood, quick.
And I'd probably wager on that same subject. I'd say that dirt track racing is seeing a massive renaissance. You're seeing huge prizes on both the World of Outlaws and the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and massive fan support throughout this year and the previous years too.
You know what's amazing to me is George the Giant Slayer was telling us last night that tourism over the last few years is up, but tourism to theme parks is down. Where are all the tourists going? Camping and national parks have exploded in terms of attendance. Why is that? Well, because the national park probably isn't going to condemn you because you have some, mundane political position. How about that?
There's also, you see God's beauty in the parks too. I just went to the Shenandoah National Park it was like a week or two ago, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's stunning. You kind of get a perspective of where you are at in your life compared to all the beauty of the nature and how it's all been created and everything like that. It is truly stunning. And that's just in the Appalachians. So it's not even going out to look at what's happening in the Rockies and all the lakes and all the other kind of just beautiful, gorgeous nature that we have here in the United States.
Much to be thankful for.
All right, go to Europe for less money than it takes to go to Walt Disney World. I mean, why would I see an imitation of France at Epcot when I can go to the real thing?
The food is better in France. I got to say that.
Let me throw
at some point we're going to have to. At some point we're going to actually have to get to the next super chat, guys.
Well, let me say this. I also want to say I went to the Biltmore this past weekend and took a lot of footage and really thought about it. And that's going to be a member exclusive video coming up this week, folks. We'll be reviewing the Biltmore as we look for fun things that are still out there for you to do that are not Disney related or related to any other these other wacko Hollywood, Hollyweird kind of things. You're not going to the movies after all, right?
Not unless you're reviewing it. All right.
I do want to see Godzilla -1. That looks really good. I'm actually interested in that one. That's like something I do want to go see.
I think we're about to have some good. I think we're about to have some muting issues on this live stream. Jesus, Ceballos or Ceballos Jr., member for 2 months. It's official. I'm John F. Trent's 71st subscriber.
Thank you so much.
The race to 100 is on. Let's go, folks. Let's get John to 100.
I think the next, this is not about the previous super chat. I think this is about our previous conversation. But in light of that, the first meeting with a cult is designed to seem normal.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
thank you, Mac.
You look at Disney and you look at Scientology and
I don't know. On YouTube, are we allowed to say who the Maybe we should just avoid that topic.
You see the black SUVs out your window?
Let's not
The
break
other
out
way
the
we
e-meters
begin.
right now. Let's just.
I can't figure out if it's Disney or if it's Scientologist, so I'll just shut up.
All right, just meme or just me.
Oh wait,
for
no, they've got
$5.
pass holder stickers. We're in real trouble.
I'd love to see proto woke. You know, the thing is, if it were just me making the comment, I wouldn't say anything at all. But when you interrupt the super chat, it just means I got to start.
I'm so sorry
because they paid for their super chat. Just me. For $5.
It's a great Beaker reference, and we love you. All right, go Jonas. Joke.
I'd love to see proto woke movies discussed, like Hackers from the 90s. That movie leaned fairly heavily into they them identity politics. Well, the thing about Hackers is most people that I hear talking about that film at this point talk about it favorably. Like there's actually some substance to it. I don't remember that aspect of the film. It's also not aimed at children. So I don't know.
It's definitely not aimed at children.
Yeah. Anybody else want to weigh in on Hackers?
It's been a while since I've seen Hackers.
Matthew Lillard is a gifted actor.
All right. Well, I guess Tom must be away from his keyboard because I thought he had some.
There's a lot of proto woke movies, but I don't remember anything really overly woke in that movie, or at least overtly.
Nope.
Is that with Angelina Jolie?
Oh, it's definitely with
For the
Angelina
tit
Jolie.
job, yes.
And Johnny Lee something.
Yeah, Johnny Lee Hooker, whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
The Tingler for $10. Mark Twain, American author and humorist, 1935 to 1910. My favorite quote about the news: if you don't read the news, you're uninformed. If you read the news, you're misinformed. Just in case everybody thought
would like what we're going to try.
Yeah, just in case everybody thought Denzel was the one who came up with that quote. Yes, that is Mark Twain. Beautiful.
And we like both Denzel and Mark Twain.
Time traveler.
A good combo. Dr. J for $20 Australian. The Acolyte will be a disaster. Reed Richards is now an abusive husband. Blade gets life lessons from 4 women. Deadpool has a female villain, and Captain America is fighting Donald Trump. Please make it stop.
Well, on that note, I'm glad.
Tom, what do you?
They're lowering the noise, Jay. They're totally lowering the noise.
Tom, go ahead.
It's fine.
All right, James Villanueva.
Villanueva.
Lo siento. Member for 4 months. I am Order 66 subscriber on the Trent Report.
There you go.
But is the channel still standing? That's the question.
How many Jedis have you taken out?
Not enough if you follow the Filoni stuff. I mean, come on. If there's any indication that the clone troopers can't shoot, it's most of the Jedi you've heard of made it past.
Yeah, they keep popping up. Yeah. No, all I was going to say is it's a good thing you like Mark Twain and Denzel Washington, because Denzel's going to play him in the Netflix biopic.
Always true.
I mean,
perfect.
It's not progressive enough for Disney.
Hannibal,
they pick a woman.
All right. We're through the super chats, folks. For now, at least. Pro.
All right.
All
Well,
yours.
for those of you who are just joining us on this Thanksgiving week, of course, the big announcement was that John Trent has joined thatparkplace.com as editor-in-chief, ending his tenure with Bounding into Comics and joining us. We will have the very first Trent Report video releasing at the end of this broadcast, and we will automatically send you over there. If you're not yet subscribed to the Trent Report, you really should be. We'd love to get him to 100 100 subscribers on the very first day, and really just send this thing into the stratosphere. Would make us all very happy to see John be highly successful as he is starting this new journey. Don't forget that John has been the source of so much in terms of YouTube success and pushing back on the crazies of pop culture, and we're here to celebrate John and his next steps, and we're so excited for him. I suppose now, folks, it's time for our next news topic, and it's no better for Disney because, well, it has to do with their darling little animated film, that being Wish. And here is where we are.
More like
if you thought it was getting better, folks, think again. Wish over on Rotten Tomatoes, which, by the way, Rotten Tomatoes, I don't trust it, not one bit. It's corporately owned. But, well, let's say this. When the splat is as splattering as this, it makes you realize that the corporate media can't even cover for this. And so we're going to show you exactly how bad this gets. It gets worse. This 54% is just the beginning. So
They're
Wish is
also
coming
under
out.
intense scrutiny now too, I think.
Oh yeah,
from
because the
studios
industry
and
wants to
everything.
crush them.
Yeah. Well, you have the whole Bunker 15 scandal as well. So I think people that
Tell
are
us about
buyers
that, John.
maybe. Yeah. So there's this company called Bunker 15 that admits to paying people to do reviews of lesser known films,
Shocked.
whether or not.
Oh, lesser known, of course. Only lesser known. Nobody's doing
for the
bigger
most part. But I think Vulture did a report on it saying that, alleging that the company was basically manipulating reviews in order to make the films look more sellable to distributors.
Well, this is a shock, I think, to nobody. We've often suspected that Rotten Tomatoes is highly manipulated, and just our suspicion, of course. But we did an article on thatparkplace.com not too long ago about the fact that a ton of the reviews for the Marvels that were positive, if you looked at the user accounts, they had only ever reviewed The Little Mermaid. That was the only other film they'd ever reviewed, and so that was odd. But let's examine this 54% splat from all critics, by the way. And folks, remember what we call this: review harvesting. Over the next few days, I suspect that number will go up as Disney finds favorable reviewers in what I term review harvesting. We've heard about this. Chris Gore described this when he was talking about Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, and how after that abysmal start on Rotten Tomatoes, he was actually invited with friends to come out there to go watch a screening of Disney on Disney property, watch the Indiana Jones screening, and they boozed up the critics. They anything you wanted in terms of alcohol, they had it. And so, that is the review harvesting we're talking about. What we always want to pay attention to on Rotten Tomatoes is we want to look at the top critics, because the top critics are those people who likely aren't losing their jobs if they tell the truth. And when we click that, all critics is 54%, 65 reviews. So prepare for the review harvesting there. But top critics for this movie, and by the way, this movie is the 100th anniversary film for the Walt Disney Company. It is a celebration of 100 years of animation excellence and existence. 38%. 38% of top critics said this was worth watching. So that is where Wish is right now. Now let's click on the reviews and see what we've got here. Well, Grace loves it. Well, thank goodness for Grace.
That's a bellwether right there.
Wow.
But Grace doesn't have a top critic star. I'm so sad.
Sure, read it though. Read what she said. It's fresh, but it says, sure, it has lots of problems and feels half baked.
Well, you know what Grace needs? Grace needs to give just enough that Disney will invite her back so she can get another Mickey Mouse plushie.
So
Sure.
What kind of dumb shit did Grace say this week?
Sure, it has lots of problems and it feels half-baked, but that Disney magic is powerful stuff, especially when you want it so, so bad, and you won't get it if you give a bad review. Fans of Disney animation will find it fun, largely thanks to great performances by Chris Pine and Ariana DeBose. This Is the Thanks I Get is a great song, and I'm also going to sing it to Disney when they don't send me that plushie, so send me the plushie. That's Grace Randolph. I added a little. But our Splatterooski's here. Lindsay Barr says, Wish is harmless holiday programming for the family, but it's strange to watch a movie about celebrating the individual star and everyone that feels like it was made by mandate, not a dream. Benjamin Lee says, watching all the tired and tested elements fail to coalesce just makes us nostalgic for the classics instead. Let us all wish Disney can find that magic again. Justin Clark, another top critic. Look at all these top critics with the Splatterooskies. Justin Clark gives it a green squishy and says, Wish plays out like the no-frills version of a Disney princess story. And Brian Tallarico from RogerEbert.com. Disney's Wish is the most... Tallarico. Disney's Wish is the most aggressive piece of Disney propaganda in years. So that's... Notice, folks, let me show you this.
On that.
Take a look at this here with the... notice when there's not a star and a top critic. Tomato, tomato, splat, splat. Tomato, splat, tomato, splat. Anybody seen a thing here? And then, well, we get down here and there's plenty of splat splats. But you get the idea. I mean, it holds steady the whole way to the top. Not a critic, good. Not a top critic, good. Top critic, bad. Top critic, bad. You get the idea. Now, I don't know if we can actually click on... where did that one go?
I think you could... Yeah.
Are you talking about Grace at the top? Has
No,
Alan's
we're not gonna-
review of Wish
Justin Clark,
made
I
it
think
on
is the
here
one
yet?
you're looking at.
Let's see this one. This
Or
one
no,
is the one that
there
said
it
it
is,
was
yeah.
the propaganda. Okay.
Yeah. Brian
This
Tiller.
out of RogerEbert.com, and it is by Brian Tellerico, according to Jonas. Disney's
Tellerico.
Wish is the most aggressive piece of Disney propaganda in years. Sure, they
Didn't
all are.
share.
I am so
We're
sorry.
not. We can't
folks.
see it. Yep. There
I'm
we go.
so sorry. Let us begin again. Wish by Brian Tellerico.
It's
Disney
And,
ordered from
Still
Wish.
Tellerico. Still Tellerico.
Tellerico. Okay, we'll get it. We'll get it one day. Tellerico. Disney's Wish is the most aggressive piece of Disney propaganda in years. Sure, they all are to a certain extent, but films like The Lion King or even Encanto stand on their own as stories, whereas Wish feels more closely tied to the history of the Mouse House and the power of imagination that fans have found in it than anything the company has ever produced. Folks, I want to introduce you to the grandest sentence starter I have ever seen. Look at that sucker. Wait, no, I'm sorry. It's not that grandiose. Look at that sucker. That's a sentence now. It's not just the abundant references to everything from Peter Pan to Mary Poppins to Bambi and beyond, but the sense that the entire production is about how we really need to keep wishing on not just stars, but Disney branded ones to make ourselves happy.
It's another self-referential movie.
There's also a reading of a film about a political leader that crushes the dreams of Disney adults that made me think of Ron DeSantis, but that's a different piece.
No.
I want to bring up here,
Oh,
I want to bring up, guys, that Alan Ng on Film Threat, and I haven't seen this film yet. I'm going to go see it tomorrow, and all of you owe me more super chats for that. Trust me. It will be painful. The best thing in the theater will be the popcorn, and so it had better be buttery, but
extra butter, right?
Extra butter.
For fresh.
Are you going to
And
get
that
one
extra
of those
butter is going to
special-
cost a 20. So,
special?
Does your theater have a bar?
Yeah, you need a popcorn bucket. You need
If it's a Disney, it does.
Yeah,
can you pour tequila right on the popcorn? But Alan Ng says that Wish is a political message about activism. So this young female hero is an activist trying to change the her village, her community, and have an uprising against an evil white king, prince, whatever he is. King Magnifico, I believe. I don't think that's going to go well. The splats show us that not even Hollywood can hang in there anymore. And so I guess what I want to say to you guys is, does this beat the Marvels or come under the Marvels? And does it beat Strange World or come under the Strange World fiasco? What do you guys think?
What was Strange World? I don't remember. That was
Strange World lost $200 million. I'll have to go to numbers to see what its total box office was. Let me pull that up.
I
real
like
quick.
turtles.
But it lost $200 million, and yes, it did not beat the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Excellent point, Tom.
The pro-climate change film, Strange World. Carla Hay of Culture Mix had like the best synopsis that I've seen for Wish here.
Hold on just a second, Vash.
Please.
I hate to interrupt you, but this is too much. Okay, it might beat Strange World. Strange World made $70 million worldwide. If it doesn't beat that,
I think it will beat. I think it will beat Strange World. It did 18 million its opening weekend too, so I think it will beat that. Because what I've seen is like 50 million. I guess is what I've been seeing at Box Office Pro. That's been their projection.
45 is what I saw most recently.
Okay.
Now you may have something that's more recent. I don't know. And in light of the films that have failed, John, I mean it could go up to 50 because nobody's watching anything else.
Yeah,
it's going to go.
It's going down.
It's going to go lower.
It's particularly tough for a Disney film because a lot of people expect these things to be on Disney Plus, right? So if there's any, amount of criticism directed at these things, it's like, maybe we'll wait for it. But this one, go ahead.
No, please. Sorry, Vash. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'll throw it to you, Culture, here after this. As a Disney animated film, Wish is more forgettable than iconic. Even with a talented cast, the movie's plot, characters, and songs are generic and derivative. Its references to other Disney movies look more like shameless shilling than fond reminiscing. So, Culture, what do you got?
Go ahead, Culture, and then I have to stop everything.
All right. Well, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes that everybody's calling out the fact that they're trying to get close to the idea that this celebrates 100 years worth of animation, and I think everybody recognizes that this is not the film to do that, and that the original premise would have been so much more delightful. So, and then I'll stop because I know Jonas is a hair.
Oh man. So first of all, we are going to talk about the difference between Wish, just on the musical side of things, the difference between Wish and classic Disney, like Alan Menken and Howard Ashman and the Sherman Brothers, and the big difference there. But what we have to stop for right now is the fact that Captain Overkill gifted a $50 super chat.
The name is apropos.
Yeah, for Pro's trip to the theaters to see Wish. This is about what movie tickets cost nowadays, right?
You've covered the cost of a single ticket. There's no inflation, though, folks. Ignore that CPI. Captain Overkill, you've earned it. Let's play it. Here we go.
I want to hear it.
Not right now.
Yes, now, Dusty Bun.
Wait. Okay.
Oh, it's a lot of quiet.
Yeah,
Well,
I thought that
didn't work. Hang on. We've got it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
And then after that, Christopher Wilt says, for $20, I got your popcorn.
Let me just apologize now, guys. I intended for that to work, and StreamYard is not participating with me. So one more time, one more fun thing. Here we go.
A blindfolded half-court shot that is now the talk of campus and beyond.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Is that on tape?
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
Wow. Wow.
Things are going down the crapper. It's not good for investors. It's not just one bad decision. You're getting a golf and tree in. Dang it, Bob! Your spending's been illegal. Your leadership is fatal. We expect more leaks and rumors. Makes no sense hiring. Disney is so unstable. What's the profitability timetable? It's time to fire Iger. This is just another Budweiser. Dang it, Bob.
Want to say a huge thank you for those super chats. That is extremely kind. Very much appreciated. It will make the salty popcorn and my tears go down better as I struggle to watch Wish. Thank you so much for those super chats.
Thank you, Christopher, and thank you so much, Captain Overkill. You lived up to your name, buddy. Changer of ways. Oh wait, sorry. That I forgot that was the interruption super chat right there. Or should we just keep going, Pro?
No, I want to get some more thoughts on Wish real quick, and then we'll hit those super chats. We appreciate every single one of them, and we're definitely going to get to them. But I want to wrap up the conversation about Wish with this, guys. When it comes to this movie and to the 100th anniversary, the amazing thing to me is that it seems that there is a baked-in pattern of behavior that has existed for decades, and that is that families go to the movies for the holidays. So for Thanksgiving week, they go watch movies. Disney has managed to be so bad that they're breaking the behavior pattern. They're actually causing families to say, you know what? We always go watch movies. How about we no go to the movies? Let's no go to the movies this year. Instead, we'll actually spend time together. And, kudos to Disney, I guess. I'm bringing families closer and creating conversations because they're not going to the theaters. I think we will miss, though, the theatrical experience. And I hate to see the cinema owners taking it to the chin. If you think about it, guys, this last weekend, we had 3 films that should be tentpole franchise films. Trolls Band Together, Hunger Games prequel, Marvel movie. Any one of those 3, you would suspect that those were pitched to investors. Hey, we can make $100 million off of this, right? Opening weekend, we can make $100 million. Domestically, the 3 combined came under $100 million. The 3 combined.
That is abysmal. Disney is breaking records, and not any of the good ones right now. They want these things to be successful. They want them to be a statement that they are doing things right and they are the leaders in the culture. And The only thing they are is leaders in overspending, which in some ways, yes, they are the great American company in that way.
You know, these princess films usually kick off a renaissance for Disney. This might be the first one where it's, you know, we're going to see a dark slump here to screw this up. A princess animated film, Thanksgiving, it's got everything in front of it, and to put out something so lackluster. It really speaks to the quality of the creatives and their decision making.
Well, what is amazing is this is the second year. Strange World devastated theaters last year.
Yep.
So we're in that year 2 of theater owners surely saying, "Hey, we'd like to not be homeless. How about we not do homeless?" That kind of sucks.
It would have to make 18.8 more than 18.8 million in order to beat Strange World. Do we think it's going to beat Strange World?
Yes.
In the opening,
Trolls Band Together is still out though. It's got competition.
I think it will beat Strange World. I'm looking at the most recent Box Office Pro predictions. They're having it between 40 and 60 million. And then total entire is 165 to 289. So if you look at the median there, it's 50 million. So that's kind of where it might be. But as I think Culture was pointing out earlier, we've seen the Marvels have that kind of. It was higher, and they kept bringing it down, and even still it was at 44. And then, or I think Hunger Games was 44, and then they were putting that up, and then it came back down. So it's likely they might be overestimating what they're doing here with Wish, and it might be on the low end of that prediction range, around 40 million, I would say.
Well,
and then
I want to point something out, John.
Yeah,
and then please continue. It's not a trick on purpose. It's just a quirk of the industry. How's that? But here's the quirk of the industry. As per deadline, Wish is tracking to make around 50 million in its first 5 days after opening on Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. Now, if we remember that the previews start tomorrow, but they won't count, they'll be rolled into the Wednesday, right?
Right.
This is a 1 week weekend, because the only day that's not being counted is Monday. So this is 6 days, and in 6 days, deadline thinks it's going to make 50 million. Now, if it comes in 6 days at 50 million, it's underperforming the Marvels. But that's the quirk of the industry, that if you just read this, you think, oh, well, that's better than Marvels. Okay, we get a shot. It's like, actually, no.
Exactly. So, I mean, this movie is going to struggle. We'll see what it does over the weekend. I mean, I was shocked how poor the Marvels did from, was it Friday? It did like 21 million, and then it dropped to like 15, and then it was down to 10 by Sunday, and it just kept dropping by 5 million day over day, losing huge portions of the audience. So I would not be surprised if Wish kind of follows that, given the fact that we're already seeing from these critic reviews and what Vash is hearing from other people as well. I think Lorena Creole also kind of hinted at that when she got to watch an early viewing, was not impressed by it. So we're already seeing kind of word of mouth is not very good on this. I would not be surprised if the cinema score is a B plus, maybe even lower, which is never a good sign. Anything in the B's is
You're right. We don't know the cinema
sign.
score yet.
Right. The cinema score is going to be huge.
Yeah. So that seems to be a really good indicator of whether or not a film has a word of mouth. If you have like an A, anything with an A is usually good. A minus, A, or A plus, but B and B minus are not very good, and we've seen that's what and even B plus, because I think that's what the Hunger Games had, and they just that's a death knell to your movie.
I think cinema score, people get confused. The layperson gets confused by the cinema score. It'll come out and it'll be an A plus, A minus, whatever, and then you see a B plus, B minus, whatever, and you think, oh, that's not bad. But getting a B cinema score in the industry says brace yourself. You're about to crash.
It's similar to what you're just talking about here, how they're kind of trying to make you think that 50 million is the 3 day, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when it's like, well, they're trying to make you think that like B plus is actually like what you would get on a report card, which is actually like pretty decent, when it's like, no, it's like a D. People are like,
I believe every Disney animated film before Strange World was in the A's. Strange World was a real outlier because it was the first one that actually hit the B's, and it was like, oh, this thing is dead. But go ahead.
There's two things telling here. I mean, John and Pro just had to break down the sentence structure and how it was put together.
Isn't that
because
amazing?
They try to hide so much in modern journalism, right? Well, it's not. It's urinalism. John does journalism. But anyway,
I love it.
So if you have an opening weekend that's 6 days long, it's not a weekend, right? And we often run into this. And I know it's part of the industry and everything else, but it's very misleading.
Culture, they put the previews on a Monday, except it really would be a week, and then they would be objectively false. So they got
yeah, and that's just step number one. Step number two is, and believe me, I know this on authority, people are rejecting the animation that they're seeing on the screen as well. So it's beyond all the messaging stuff that we all find, off-putting. It's the actual animation that people are struggling with in this film as well. It's something that is different. It's unfamiliar. It doesn't give you any sense of good background as well. It's like a 3-dimensional animation on a 2-dimensional background. It's not something people are super excited about. And so this film could turn off the audiences in various ways, not just because of the messaging and not just because people don't trust Disney any longer, but because visually it's not compelling. I don't know.
Totally agree.
And that's actually something that that's something you've talked about a lot, Pro, is the brain drain from the Walt Disney Company. They just don't have the top animators anymore to kind of create these things. And I was seeing, I think it was like Brian Niemeyer was pointing this out too. I guess he was looking at Mobile Suit Gundam, and he was talking about how the guy who did all the mixing for most of the animes in the 80s, he passed away, and so they had to change everything else because they lost all of his talent. He didn't kind of train anyone or pass it along. And so that changed how a lot of the anime looked in the 90s. And I think you're seeing something similar happening here with the Walt Disney Company, where they've either driven a lot of people out with their ideology. You've talked about that quite frequently. B, they've aged out. They're at retiring age, and the people that were below them just aren't as talented, didn't get it, or they're using different tools, trying new different things instead of sticking with the tried and true animation stuff. So those are two big factors, I think, that have resulted in a brain drain from the Walt Disney Company.
It's the cultural shift, John. Yeah. It's the loss of institutional knowledge, and Disney did it. It happened in 3 different ways for them, right? They had people age out, even though they had the legends. A lot of them passed on. A lot of them got corrupted by messaging. That's the whole other conversation. But then you have the talented people that were the senior folks, and they were recruited elsewhere. Disney lost them because they didn't retain them. And the people that they didn't lose that way, they lost because they forced them out, right? And that again, you now you have nobody that knows how to tell a story, which is the most important part of anything, whether it be film, animation, television, doesn't matter. You have to have good storytellers. My argument is Disney does not have storytellers anymore. They lost them.
No, absolutely not. They think that they can pay the group to, manufacture us a good story, the same way that you would go into a factory and say, make me a table, or make me a set of chairs that looks like that set of chairs over there. They see what other people have done well, and they try to mimic it the way that you would think some weird blob creature would try to mimic human form.
It's that whole data-driven idea that they've bought in everywhere, in every aspect of their company. The problem is that's why things that they produce seem very soulless and very paint by numbers, because it is analytically driven. It's not driven by a human experience, because none of the people that work for them have had a human experience yet, or maybe they never will.
I keep going back to this because I just watched it again. Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, or whatever you want to call it. There is a scene that they spend a good length of time talking about the Oh My Disney weblog. In the middle of the movie is an ad for their website. And they just have all of these Disney characters running around trying to do this, essentially a multiverse thing in the middle of the movie. It's an ad for Disney in the middle of a Disney movie. It is the most if you don't like them, it's so easy to see how crass and cynical that is.
Just to point out, like, I mean, it's the old classic Disney wasn't even like it was retelling already like good, well-known stories like Snow White, Hunchback of Notre Dame, like Little Mermaid. Those are like classic Aladdin. Those are classic stories that had already been told for generations, and they redid them. Right, and they seemingly have just kind of dried up on even doing that because they're now trying to remake their remakes already, and so they don't. I mean, even if they don't have good storytellers, you can still find those good classic. I mean, the Grimm fairy tales has tons of good stuff in there, and they can do that. And then the fact that they aren't or they weren't with Snow White, I think, just shows how creatively bankrupt they are. They don't even have any kind of respect for the movie that made them.
When John was driven out of the company, he took a lot of people with him in his new enterprise over there, and like people like Alan Menken, for example, he's producing with John and his new movie over there at his at their animation company.
Netflix? Because didn't he just go to Netflix?
He went,
right?
Skydance Animation, which has got a deal with Netflix now.
Netflix, right?
The head of, I'm sorry, one of the directors of Tangled is also over there. A lot of the guys worth their salt. They left Disney to go over there to join his enterprise. Not only that, but a lot of the people coming out of college or out of schools were thinking they were getting on the ground floor of Pixar 2.0, so they went over there as well. So what does that leave left for Disney?
Right. Just to be clear on that, Brad Bird, director of Iron Giant and also The Incredibles, he's over there right now, and then Rich Moore, who directed the first Wreck-It Ralph and also was one of the people who influenced Zootopia, actually one of their influential Story Trust guys, he's over there. They've got another one that he's working on over there. It seems like that brain drain is pretty complete. There's a guy, I want to say Byron Howard. I always have to be careful that I don't say Byron Allen. Byron Howard is still over there at Disney, I believe. But and anybody else who is worth their salt from the Pixar Brain Trust has pretty much left the company or is Pete Docter. So
they're leaving because they know it's like, well, I'm going to follow somebody who's done it versus stay here and being directed by Pete Docter, who seemingly doesn't want to be there, or Jennifer Lee, who doesn't have a clue what's going on here.
Yes.
And even if you look at the landscape, not even just kind of just the animation landscape, to me, the innovation is happening over at Netflix. I mean, I know it's not children's entertainment, but the Love, Death, Robots stuff with all the different art styles and animation techniques that they use, I thought that was just a really innovative series. And obviously they had really good stories, and a lot of them were just really good. A good, solid anthology series. I didn't watch the second season, but I know the first season was quite entertaining. So even from that perspective, like that's where the cool cutting edge stuff is happening. And that's where people are attracted to go. And they're like, oh, I want to go work with those guys. So you're not even attracting maybe like new talent that you can build up because you're creating kind of bland, cookie cutter, boring projects that that people don't want to work on.
And they want to work on somebody else's IP, or they want to make something fun and new, creative somewhere else. That's what you're giving people who are staying at Disney, who want to be at Disney. They're going to be, put on franchises versus doing something original, like you said there, John. Well,
they've admitted this as much in the investor call that happened. Not any of the public ones. The one that was strictly investors. Bob Iger basically stated that we don't have anybody who is a great director over at Pixar right now, so we're letting them cut their teeth on IP that people already know, so that they can have the most profitability impact. I'm paraphrasing that last part.
It's not working.
Yeah, that's that was I forget what her name was. She had that report where they had all the investors come into the Walt Disney World.
Right, from Needham.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that a company is just a slogan, iconography. McDonald's is the arches, Disney is the castle. But in terms of what happens behind the scenes, you actually need extreme brain power. You don't just get creative genius out of a bunch of brains. And I think that's been the idea that has really sunk what Disney's been trying to do. You get genius activity out of geniuses, and those are far and few between. And if you're sitting at the top of the Pareto principle, you better do everything in your power to keep those who help you stay afloat on that Pareto principle. And I think Disney has completely folded and given away the people who make them special. It kind of reminds me of, you can, to go back to a sports analogy, you can think that the Chicago Bulls are a team of excellence. Well, they are if Michael Jordan is on the team. And if Michael Jordan's not on the team, well, they're middling at best year after year after year. But as far as being what they were,
they're less popular than the indoor soccer team at the time.
I actually have I actually have a question though. Does Disney lack people that are ambitious, or does it lack people that are hungry? Because they're two different things.
Can you be someone who is hungry for success if you believe in wokeism?
No.
That's antithetical, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But you can be ambitious. But you can be
ambitious for power.
Yeah.
And
how do you convince the market? The market makes free choice. So how do you convince the market to go along with your power play? They despise the market, I think.
That's always been one of my theories, is that these people are so engrossed in their ideology that they can't actually create anything that is inspiring or hopeful or aspirational or even a tragedy. They can't even tell good tragedies because the morals that they want to instill through those are amoral or immoral. Immoral. And it's just, people reject that because we understand what is right and wrong instinctually.
The funny thing is, there are a lot of people who, they'll say, well, you guys just want Disney to be conservative. You just want Disney to be on the right, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, Disney currently, based on the stats we had from the last presidential election, Disney donated 91%. All of their employees, 91% of their donations went in one particular direction. I want a Disney that's more 50-50 because I think that those two sides inside the company will battle it out and produce better content. I think that whenever you go too far in one direction, you lose the ability to be critically examined inside the corporate structure. And Disney is 91% too far. So they need to come back to the middle badly.
It's the company. Bob Iger used to understand this back in the day, and that's why he bought Pixar, right? To infuse that brain trust, that talent throughout the company, and to get them making better stories again. But now it's so ideologically driven, like you said there, Pro. And John, I think you eloquently put it nicely, where they are incapable of telling these stories anymore. It's kind of like the Soviet films of the 1950s and 60s. Why didn't they do well? Is because they're propaganda first. They're statists creating that. And I think that's what we're seeing here. They have an inability to tell story. And the people who could, well, they're gone.
Well, we do need to move to our next topic. And before we do, I want to do super chats. And then we've got a panelist who is going to be exiting and a panelist who's going to be joining us. I also want to take a moment, folks. Green bean casserole did, in fact, defeat cream corn. So you cream corn fans out there, I'm so sorry.
But there's a question we've all been waiting for.
That's right. The veg match of the century. But there's some...
Oh, we're not doing the cranberries? You're not going to do
Not yet. We'll get there.
Okay.
But there is some ambiguity, I suppose. People have asked, what's the difference in dressing and stuffing? And so let's give the answer to that for those of you out there voting. Stuffing currently winning 70%. Stuffing is typically a bread mixture that is infused often with chicken stock, vegetables, etc., put into the turkey or the chicken or what have you, and then that's what makes it stuffing. Now, some people don't put it inside and they still call it stuffing, and that's fine as long as it's sort of loose and fluffy. That's stuffing. Dressing is essentially made of the same stuff as stuffing, except that dressing is usually put into a pan and patted down, and then it's baked at 375 for 40 minutes or what have you, to make it kind of crisp on the top, and it's more like a casserole, but same flavor, different texture. That's what we're debating, folks. So let us know which one you prefer. And if you've not had one or the other, just say, as long as it's not giblets, darn it, I'll eat it. I'll try it. I'll try anything if it's not.
This is the hard-hitting news that people come to that Park Place for.
That's why.
Yeah,
that's why.
What is everybody's problem with giblets? That's just the innards.
Do you like giblets?
Those are the things that they put on Crocs, right? But we're about to lose culture here, right? Culture, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
As you take a sip. We were waiting for the very moment you would sip out of that mug.
Oh, by the way,
30 minutes of waiting.
Why you're wearing a Che Guevara shirt? You want to explain?
This is Che White. This is.
I thought that was Rachel Zegler for a moment.
It is. It's Rachel Zegler as Che White. This is a parody T-shirt.
Where do you find that? Where do you find that, Culture?
I am not from the dark side. I'm not.
Culture, where do you find that T-shirt?
You can actually find this one, I think, in two places. It's over on the Beach Punk store on Mixed Tees, or it's over on the Beach Punk store, beachpunk.us. So
mods,
yeah,
and we love our mods. Look at Olaf. Olaf already has it. Folks, if you don't buy an item out of the Pro Store because you've got to have Rachel Zegler in that attire, I totally understand this one. Totally cool.
It's got
totally
the rose. I mean, that didn't give it away. Anyway,
it's brilliant.
Check out Feet Funk.
Oh, that's right. Feet Funk. That's right. Instead of Beach Punk, that's what Tom calls it.
There you go.
No, look, you can find me right here at Culture Casino, but oftentimes, at least 5 times a week, you can find me on that Park Place also, or on WDW Pro or anywhere else.
Culture is one of the
you want
hardest
to be on
working men
tomorrow,
YouTube.
Culture?
Sure, why not? I don't sleep anymore.
Hey, folks, if you can believe it, Culture also writes articles on thatparkplace.com.
Oh, man, and
the
they're
man
great, too.
never stops, and it's always the highest quality.
Oh,
Can't
thank
stop,
you.
won't
No,
stop.
and then I'm not saying this last but least, but I am oftentimes hanging out with Tom either on Midnight's Edge or Midnight's Edge After Dark, and we have a good time there. So I spread myself thin, but it's because I love doing what I do here so much. I like my regular job just fine. But
well, it's lovely when we have you, Culture. You're
this is
amazing,
more
and we
fun.
appreciate. And I've said this to you privately. I'm going to say it publicly for the first time. When people talk about the individuals behind the scenes, your favorite content creators behind the scenes, and they say, you know, who are the people that are just as lovely behind the scenes as in public and on camera? So many people say Culture Casino comes to mind first. Culture is absolutely amazing on screen, off screen, on camera, off camera. He is just a magnanimous person. So, Culture, we love having you on the channel.
Thank you, and thank
Happy
you for making
Thanksgiving,
me
sir.
blush and be embarrassed. I again, right back at
Get
all
out of here and
you.
get your giblets. Go get your
I gotta
giblets.
go. I gotta get my giblets. Thank you. Love you.
Wait,
Bye-bye.
are you stuffing or are you?
Oh,
stuffing.
no.
But
Oyster stuffing, man.
Well,
So
Culture is stuffing. We've got someone here dressing,
God.
and that is
good. Oh no.
what? What
Just,
did I say?
Just bring on the next guest, quick.
We have a guy who makes CEOs cower in their wake, where I make CFOs curious. This man makes CEOs cower. It is Valiant Renegade. Valiant.
What I do,
buddy?
You came in at an awkward moment, and you're going to fix it all. And then with that, super chats. Here
something
we go.
about getting stuffed. That's all I knew.
All right, Rabned Scubla for member for 3 months. Last time I went to Culver's, I got order 66. It's funny.
Is that an actual option at Culver's?
Well, they don't let you pick your order number, generally speaking.
Oh,
I got order 144, and I said that's gross, and they did not get the joke.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I always ask for the soup of the day, and if it's the soup du jour, that's what I'm having.
Changer of ways. Number 5. For $5. Not even a free Brandy Alexander dusted with cinnamon could get me to give Indy 5 a positive review. That's saying something.
Well, they tried. They tried.
Black Saber says, Wish released at Thanksgiving. Wishbone. Tee-hee.
Yeah, where is Shrebbles today? Shrebbles, I figured would have a Butters super chat on the way. Who knows? He's got VR here now. Should somebody wake up Shrebbles, tell him, hey, the Pro Show is going on a Monday. Can you believe it?
Grifter Wannabe, member for 3 months. Have Chrissy Mayer reprise her Grace Randolph. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her Grace Randolph. I have seen her Frosk, of course.
Yeah,
you know, my voice is too deep for Grace Randolph, but I think I have a good Grace Randolph impression. I'm not gonna do it right now, other than to say,
Thank you.
Well, hello and welcome. So that's all I got.
Yep. Araxis, member for 7 months. Pro, since you will be alone in the theater, maybe you should just live stream it. That way we can suffer with you.
I actually plan to walk the aisles and give a report on how many kernels of popcorn are still remaining. We're going to test out the cleaning services of the theater and see if they've
You
done a
just
good
do
job.
it during the movie too. Just
That's the
have your
plan.
Flashlight on. Yep.
Do they make like a popcorn detector, like a metal detector that I can just slowly walk through? And I don't know.
That's what I got to talk about
there with the black light.
I'll take a dust buster. Yeah, it's a service dog. He's fine.
Davin Perry for
Leave us alone,
$10.
sir.
I think the change in terminology is extremely telling. We have gone from cinema to programming to content. Yep.
That's right.
It's a dirty word these days, content.
From art to the message.
Slade
and
Wilson.
everyone criticizes Martin Scorsese for his opinions about cinema.
You know, he lived long enough to go from the villain to the hero on those statements, right? Right? Didn't he?
He did.
In the public perception.
It was only like 4 years too, like 3 years. I think his original like New York Times op-ed was like 2020, and 2023 he's been vindicated.
Slade Wilson, the band man, for $5. In my opinion, Grace Randolph has the taste of Disney on her tongue. She's a sellout, giving her opinion as easily as a woman of the night chases
good Lord
confection of sugar arranged well into lines on the table.
I can't even see these backstage, but I really want to.
I see now why you didn't show that one on the screen.
Oh, you'll get used to that, John.
Oh, Slade.
Slade is fun. Just
hero.
me for $2. Disney is having a turkey of a Thanksgiving.
And nobody will gobble up the tickets.
It's almost like a turducken, if you will. Like it's got multiples.
Has anybody here actually had a turducken?
Yes.
Has anybody?
Yes.
So
how's the turducken? Is it worth
it? Of course,
it?
the guy from New Orleans has had.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell do you think? Everybody down here.
We don't know that we eat chicken duck and
That's a
donkeys all the
monstrosity.
time.
That's a chimera. What are you doing?
What
eating
am I gonna get in
that
a
thing?
pot and call it gumbo?
I mean, they're really good. I mean, it's if they're done correctly, if they're done right. There's.
Do you fry it? You bake it? What do you do with it?
Usually on the turduckens, I mean, I've seen both, honestly.
The thing's like 30 pounds, right? 30 pounds of monstrosity.
Yeah, it's a duck and a chicken and a turkey.
Yeah, it's a poultry poltergeist.
In a
Poltergeist.
redneck.
That's what it is.
And if you're John Madden on the air, you cut it with your hands.
So now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Before you eat it though, Valiant, do you pull the duck out of the chicken or the chicken out of the duck and then all of that out of the turkey, or how do you carve this thing?
You cut into it. So you
just carve through bone and rib cage and
well,
you need a
usually
chainsaw.
a lot of times when you if you see how they prep a turducken, they try to. I've seen somewhere like they actually remove a lot of the structure in that case, and it's kind of hard to describe.
Well, there's what is it? Spatchcock? Is that where you remove the spine on the turkey, and then that way it lays flat? It's supposed to work. Anyway,
no.
That I can tell you.
Slade Wilson for $5. Regarding the Thanksgiving poll number 3, don't you have to get rid of the dressing in order to get stuffing? I'm confused. Hello, Joe.
What is that? What is wrong with that one? How did that not make it up on the screen?
Because it was really well translated.
Oh, I see. Slade, you've done it again.
Thank you so much, Slade. I don't know how to translate that one without just saying exactly what you said.
Simple food query now.
It's
Blocked
clever,
from all of us.
clever. JWT for $5. Wokies are all ambitious beyond reason because believing in wokeness allows you to cast aside all of its rules. Yes, because as we've seen, especially since October 7th or so, it's all about power more than it's about actual justice. So, yep.
Indeed.
Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, especially if you
This
go by
is where
the
we
box
are
office.
now. This is where we are.
For $5, has Iger/KK/Feige ever mentioned Barbenheimer, Sound of Freedom, Taylor Swift, Beyonce by name in a meeting? As in, why are they making money and not us?
You might be actually shocked by this. They did mention Barbie, and they said that they gave them great hope for the Marvels. So let that sink in about how these earnings calls are presented and the truthfulness therein. Let that sink in.
I also think they had like a thing with Beyonce with like the Lion King and all that stuff, didn't they? Wasn't like
yes, she was in the Lion King, and also she has the Black is King thing that's on Disney Plus, and plus they put Beyonce as in the parade of Disney princesses in Louder and Prouder.
The parks?
No, they put her in the most woke, the most activist of the girls dressed up as Beyonce.
Of course.
Whereas, of course, Michael Collins dressed up as Pocahontas. James Bunk, member for 7 months. Has Bob Iger ever demonstrated any of the skills the one would expect a CEO to have? Well, yeah, you can draw a pretty good line of baloney, which is an essential CEO skill.
Seems to be able to find activist investors to fend off other activist investors when needed.
He's the master at saying nothing and propping that stock value up, even though it's all smoke and mirrors. Great salesman.
That's right.
Yep.
Apparently he's really good at like massaging the actors and actresses and having good relationships with them. That's his
And hippos.
reputation, from what I've heard.
Isn't that what got Harvey kicked out?
Why do you think Leslie's directing a Star Wars show?
And let's not forget that all happened at Disney, guys.
I think there's a certain
Owned by
flight line
Disney.
I got to be taking a look at.
They knew.
Is that what the second shower's for?
They're about to sue all of you to the Miramax possible.
Psychosis 29. Grace Randolph equals nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. My rule on the Grace Randolph impression for Pro is just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Listen, we love Grace. Grace is welcome on the channel anytime. We're here to help her. Rent is going up. The lease is going up, I'm sure, in Manhattan.
Her Rotten Tomatoes quip was so great. This movie felt rushed. It looked half baked, but fresh.
It's terrible. It's awful. 6 out of 10.
Dude,
I want to interview.
The double speak is real. Double speak is real. Like she's already trained on it.
Yeah, my favorite line of hers last week was,
Okay, the MCU. Well, that's kind of insulting, but it's kind of hard to avoid when every movie stars women in it constantly on the Marvel movies. So maybe they shouldn't be doing this.
something along those lines.
The MCU.
That had to be hilarious for Gary to hear Grace Randolph agree with him and use his words, to have the queen of cope.
It's in the book. It's in that Joanna Robinson's book.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But to hear Grace say, it's wrong, but it's right. It's technically right. Yeah. Bopanfa,
but it's emotionally wrong.
For $2, are you planning on seeing The Boy and the Heron? As with all Miyazaki films, yes, I don't know when.
Exactly. But we will try to do so and give our thoughts.
It's got a great cast. Running with Scissors for $10. Tom already answered this. Through 2024 release predictions. Good, bad, ugly, Dune 2, Arcane 2, House of the Dragon 2, Shogun, War of the Rohirrim, and the new Planet of the Apes film. Well, I hope the Planet of the Apes film is good because that's the guy who's directing Legend of Zelda. So,
Dune 2, I think of all those has the best shot. Is that how everybody else feels on this one?
I would say so.
Arcane 2.
Yeah, Arcane 2. I'm excited about it.
What is HOT? Is that House of the Dragon? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
Carlos gave me
excited
the
for
exact
War of the
quote. Sorry.
Here's a good. Let's rephrase this. Which of these films has a shot at outperforming Deadpool 3?
Ooh, I would say. Yeah, Dune 2, I think, will be of quality. Planet of the Apes probably has the best chance at it. The fact that Deadpool 3 is rated R, I think, is going to cause them some problems in reaching that maximum level of profitability.
And that release date is suboptimal.
I think Shogun's a TV show, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that just got put back out there with Hiroyuki Sanada. Is in it.
Well, now, if we're doing TV shows, is Arcane 2? Is that the second season of Arcane on Netflix? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a pure box office thing because you've got House of the Dragon and everything else. You've got a number of TV shows.
Right.
Right.
What do we think is going to be the biggest thing in 2024?
Oh, what's going to be the biggest?
Yeah, maybe culturally.
If it's as good as the first season, Arcane 2, then I'm going to say that.
Yeah. Arcane
all right.
2.
Okay, Changer of Ways for $2. The only hope for theaters is Napoleon.
Got tickets already?
And you guys have given Ridley too much fucking credit.
What's funny is the local Sam's Club.
I'm with Tom on here.
Not a lot of competition, we'll see.
At the local Sam's Club, there was a guy who looked so much like Ridley Scott that I was tempted to go and be like, "Can you take a selfie with me because I'm going to tell people that I met Ridley Scott, even if you aren't Ridley Scott." I didn't end up going up to him, but it was the most eerie thing.
I mean, realistically, what do we think Napoleon's going to make?
I don't know. I thought the one battle scene they released where he's push. I guess it's the Germans on the or the Prussians on the ice. That was actually, I thought that was like a really cool, awesome battle scene and showing his like tactical acumen on the battlefield. But I don't think it's going to do Oppenheimer levels at all.
I predict that we're going to get 2 or 3 different director's cuts. That's my prediction.
But is it fair to say? Where's this going to land? Solid. Gosh, is this 2 or 3? I don't think it takes the top spot. Is it number 2 or number 3 for
What's it releasing
week?
against?
It's releasing
Wish.
against Wish. And
it's this week. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think families are going to go out to see Napoleon this week. So, and that's generally where people are on Thanksgiving holidays is with family. So, I think Trolls is probably going to be top there. And
wait. You're saying Trolls might beat Wish?
I don't know. I see the problem is
Wish
you
is
never
gonna be
know.
one.
You never know who's
so
the most informed audience, because right now I think people don't fully understand what's going on. If the choice is watch something as a family and will that be Disney, I don't know, because there are so many people who just don't get it with what's going on with Disney right now. Also, the quality has gone down, and that's kind of imperceptible to grown-ups on Disney animation for the most part.
I think if
Is there anything on Netflix that's coming out? Just as a
what about the Zack Snyder film?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rebel Moon.
Is that this week?
Rebel Moon come out?
I think that's the 22nd of December, right?
I think
I think that's later in the year.
I think all of us
Part
asking
one.
each other. I think all of us asking each other what's coming out and not knowing the answer is probably not the best.
Well,
yeah,
I freaked out for a
Move
moment because I knew the 22nd was a big day for Rebel Moon. I thought, oh no, is it November 22nd? Have I missed that? Reschedule the videos for the week.
Oh no,
coverage was changed.
Do not do that.
I was just going to say real quick, since y'all were talking about Napoleon, I am looking forward to it. But that being said, look, it's not like they would love to have a big success in the box office. It really doesn't matter. Apple wrote the check for this movie. Apple wanted this for Apple TV.
True.
It's more, I think they'd love to recover as much of the cost as possible, but this is about Apple wanting to put an Apple-produced film in the theater to be Oscar nominated and capable. And that's the bottom line. This is not a gotta make money thing for Apple. And I know that I'm not trying to cop out on it. I mean, yes, we're going to use the same metrics as at a financial success or fail, but again, this is one of these kind of special quirky things. It's like nowadays with Netflix producing things like All Quiet on the Western Front and then putting it into theaters for 30 days,
right?
Just to get it to where it is able to be nominated for major Hollywood awards. That's the point. Otherwise, they're really just shooting this to go straight to Apple TV.
Do you think if it retains its BLFs, it has a chance to leg out at all?
I think it could. I mean, if it surprises audiences and they really enjoy it, then obviously Apple would be foolish to yank it. But I don't even know. I don't even remember what the release date is for Apple TV. They're giving it. I think they are giving it some space on, for the theatrical run. I don't remember if it says it's going to release on Apple like on a later date, but I don't know if they ever announced what the later date is, which is smart on Apple's part. But this is for Apple more or less.
Well,
they learned what not to do from James Gunn.
And Sony is the distributing studio on that one, so they're gonna make probably a lot. Columbia, I should say, they're gonna make a lot more
Which
of
is
their
Sony,
money
yeah.
in theaters, right?
So I've pulled up the bonus member chats, 40 of them so far, folks. If you are a member of the channel, go to the community tab on the wdwpro channel and put in your member chat. We're going to start on those in about 15 minutes. There's one more topic I want to tackle first. And of course, if you want to drop a super chat, we'll read all of those. We spend a little bit more time on super chats just because look at the volume of these bonus member chats. And we give bonus member chats every single month. It's only once per month, though, that we open it up to every single member. And so this is going to be the time. If you've got questions for John, anything about thatparkplace.com, feel free to drop those. One per person. If you've done multiple, then we will have to skip over your second, third, etc., just for brevity. But the final topic, guys, that I want to go to is in terms of the Disney 100. Right, this is the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. We are here at the end. What is this company actually doing right anymore? And I want to start with Valiant. Go to you and say, I know you've got some things that this company actually does right. What is it?
Well, I mean, if they can hang on to the quality of staff and cast members or whatever they call it, like I said, that I experienced before on the cruise ships, very professional. But then again, we've seen more and more stories recently like that. Even that's kind of getting funky in the parks, at least. So, I mean, look, they signed up for a lot of live sports contracts, so they're doing that right.
Right.
That's about it.
That's what I was going to say. ESPN
Human trafficking
that they're doing decently, and I guess with what their deal with the UFC seems to be paying off. I guess. Otherwise, I don't really see them. I don't really see any positives coming out of Marvel, Star Wars, or Lucasfilm, Pixar, and Disney Animation. The parks seem to be on decline. So
they do really well with content that they don't make.
When they buy things
sports
from other people.
Live Sports Bluey.
Yeah. And back in the day when they distributed Hayao Miyazaki's films, again, great idea. Buy somebody else's stuff.
I think that's going to be put to the test though with Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, and well that is showing signs of being horrible.
Anybody going to watch that? I mean, really?
I'm going to wait and hear whatever Gary says about it. So the cruise line stuff, we're getting reports from people who have been longtime cruisers that they're seeing the signs that that is even showing its wear and that they can see the cost cutting there. The thing that I'm going to compliment Disney on is Hugh Johnston is a legit CEO.
Oh, great.
CFO.
He follows you and you start praising him.
What?
Oh, we all saw it coming. Valiant,
Exactly.
you said he wouldn't do this.
Exactly. I'm a shill, I guess. No, I'll say the same thing. I'll quote myself from before. They got a Ferrari CFO because they have some big things going on. They have to get out of debt. They have a lot of big decisions to be made. They have spinoffs and maybe sometime soon they'll have mergers. They'll have partners to take on. So they are positioning themselves. They're not going to just try to upgrade their parks financial chief and say, oh, you figure out all these massive moves that you've never had to deal with in your career. So this is a good aspect of the company.
Let me push back. And before I do, here's something slightly humorous. Please don't take offense, Jonas.
My favorite color is light tan. My favorite animal is puppies. I like serving the Lord, hiking, play volleyball.
You gotta be kidding me. Everything you just said is my favorite thing to do every day.
Y'all are going to harsh me because I said they did a good job hiring a guy that counts the money real good.
Now wait a minute, Jonas. Wait a minute, though. Here's my pushback. Hugh Johnston, I think, is there to block Nelson Peltz and the Trian Group. I think that Disney would be better served by taking their medicine. Just a lump full of sugar would make it go down, and that sugar is Nelson Peltz. So take the sugar, Disney, and fix your problems and stop trying to block it with Hugh Johnston.
They need a full lump instead of just a teaspoon, right?
A whole lump, yes.
You make a good point.
Spoonful.
No spoonfuls.
Your man crush is making pro gag, man. I can tell.
This company is really, really, really good. Amazing, actually, at wasting money. It is impressive how they can spend $200 million on an Epcot Lagoon show that they have to depreciate immediately. Star Wars, the Galactic Star Cruiser. Unbelievable that they can spend $1 billion and it not even last a year before they have to change it out. The Marvels, Haunted Mansion, we can go on, but they are really, really good at wasting money. It is very impressive, so I have to give it that. No,
Did they fix their fire-breathing dragon?
I like how we said, what is Disney getting right? And we have devolved already into, their dragon burned down. Look at their stupid harmonious. Look at your stupid harmonious, Disney.
So the dragon was up for 10 years. So they got their ROI behind that for sure. However,
I'm sure they planned in the ROI for the sucker to burn to the ground.
The idea for WDI is to get at least 10 years worth of anything out of anything. So there you go. I guess it did its job. However,
give Jonas a chance, though, Vash. Jonas, the pushback. What do you say to it? That Disney should just let Nelson Peltz.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so they got Iger, and they got a board that is handpicked by Iger, and they've chosen a CFO who has fought against Peltz. But you know what? Whatever Peltz was up to, the board was listening to him over there at PepsiCo. So, I would say this is probably, maybe he's not a guy that Peltz likes, but I do think he's a guy that Peltz probably respects. So I'm not going to fight over here and say that Hugh Johnston is great or anything like that, like he is going to affect the ideology over there at the Walt Disney Company. You guys said compliment something about the Walt Disney Company, and the fact that they are hiring a competent executive, that's a good thing. I'm trying to be unbiased.
Yeah,
here.
okay. They did get.
If we're all going to give joke answers, then okay, then I'm. They do a really good job at screwing up Jollywood Nights. We can't compliment the after hours events anymore, even though they're exorbitant.
That's what I was going to compliment. You cheated. You
Jonas,
looked at my notes.
Look, I love you, and we get it that you love Huge Johnston. But if I wanted to, I just go to Pornhub, okay? I mean, just.
He's one.
You serious, Clark?
He's one cog in a machine. That's the issue. It takes more than one executive. It is good that they are doing that. And look, listen, they have said some maybe encouraging things about the future direction of DTC, live sports, like Valiant said. I mean, there's something, but you gotta get to that creative. And so when it's a creatively driven enterprise like Disney is, and that creative is just not on all cylinders, it's hard to look at something that the Walt Disney Company does and say, "Oh, that's really good." It's just
I feel like I was set up here.
We all knew the game, and the game was take down Jonas. Well, now let me give a real one, okay? So my real one goes to what Jonas was going to turn into a joke. Up until recently, Disney World was doing a very good job financially of running these special after-hour events at the Magic Kingdom and elsewhere, and that was driving huge local participation, especially out of tourists coming from Miami up. And they were doing a great job of revenue when it came to those. The problem is that they have skimped majorly on Mickey's Christmas, and we'll have some coverage of that coming up later this week. But they didn't bring back the Cinderella Castle Dreamlights. That is a huge draw. They decided that a JPEG snowflake projected on the castle was sufficient. And when it comes to this Jollywood thing, Jonas, you're exactly right. It's a huge fiasco. And the problem is that that's a degradation of their brand. And they have degraded their brand over and over in multiple domains. You don't listen. This was one of the last things they had going for them. Don't degrade the after-hours special events. You're gonna drive people away from that last thing. So don't do it. But up until the last month, that's what I would say. Disney is still doing well in their 100th year. Anybody else?
Did they correct the speech that where they removed Christ from, where they moved him as God
for
from?
the candlelight procession?
Yeah.
Have they fixed that? Did they fix that?
I have not checked yet, but I will. The candlelight procession.
I know who I'm going to check. I know who I'm going to ask, and that's our Epcot
you
legacy
say Hugh
fellow.
Johnston, I swear.
The former Disney employee that exposed them.
Yes, that guy.
He will know. That's for sure.
He will tell the truth. Well, we'll find out. When Disney takes Christ out of Christmas, it's probably a bad idea. Probably a bad idea. All right. Something else that's a bad idea is not getting these super chats. And folks, we have a ton of member chats. We have so many of you who are new members of the channel. Welcome aboard. We are going to be announcing when we hit 50,000 subscribers, which we anticipate will happen soon. We're over 49,000 subscribers here on the channel. When that happens, we're going to announce a brand new set of membership rewards and bonuses. Some of those are tied into that parkplace.com and its redesign. I think you're going to really, really enjoy that. One of those rewards we've already been testing out for the past month to make sure it works and doesn't damage the channel. And that is that people who are in the second level of membership, so not the entry level, but the level right above, and of course all the members above that, they've been getting early access to almost every video we do. Now, sometimes there's breaking news, and when the video is ready, the video is public. But there are other times when a video is ready 2 or 3 hours beforehand, and when that happens, they get immediate access. That's been very successful. So that's one of those things that we're going to announce on the 50K celebration. So there's all kinds of stuff happening. Of course, for those of you who are just joining us, the big news, the big announcement that happened earlier is that, of course, John Trent, here with us right now, has moved on from boundingintocomics.com, where he was the founder and the editor-in-chief. He is now editor-in-chief of thatparkplace.com, and we are thrilled and excited that he is going to bring his unique, he is one in the entire world. He's the only person who's done what he's done in terms of moving pop culture and covering it in the way that he has and gaining the visibility, and we're excited for him to bring that to thatparkplace.com. So all kinds of stuff. Jonas, let's hit those super chats, and then we're going to endeavor to go through all the bonus member chats and give them their due. Take it away, Jonas.
Sir. Stuttering Guitarist for $10. Should trolls be taller than Napoleon?
Yes. It's funny.
I think it's going to be interesting to see if they do beat Napoleon at the box office, though. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, gifted 5 wdwpro memberships. Thank you so much, Lester. I love it when Lester jumps in on the pre-show for members there. It's awesome.
Absolutely. And mods out there, if you could post the Skeptic Tank link on YouTube, and thank you to our moderators who are out there doing such a wonderful job, especially on a day that's not typical for the Pro Show. But if you could link to Lester San Jose's The Skeptic Tank, we would love that and get him some visibility. Thank you, Lester, so much.
And Morgan King says, for all, what is your favorite merch item for your store? I'm going to go with the Reedy Creek, what is it? Penitentiary bath mat.
State prison, the happiest jail on earth.
Yes.
That I actually wore that into Disney World. I've worn that before, and I got some looks. Let me tell you, the cast members didn't know what to say.
All right. And
wait. I mean, that wasn't me at all, cast members. That was a totally different fan. Now,
yeah, it's not like they probably have AI coming through those videos or anything, or access. For $5.
Jonas, the other item I would say is the that same one, but the bath floor mat, because it's perfect for those 2 shower days.
Araxis for $5. Wouldn't you say that the cost cutting into the bone indicates that they are doing worse than we know? They are letting public see the threads. Yeah, they're milking the U.S. parks for all they are worth. Right.
How many movies are they making next year?
3 that they have admitted to. They've still got 2 spots.
That's less than usual.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
Less than 8. Yeah.
Yeah. They usually do 6 to 7 films with franchise potential. That used to be the words they would use to describe it. And now they got nothing. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if something gets delayed in the middle of even all of that. So, all right. Pro.
Hang on as I bang away on my keyboard for one moment. All right.
Okay.
I'm ready. Sorry about that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but we have breaking news. This from Tom Connor, who has shared this with us. He's not the originator of the article, but we'll look at this very quickly. We don't have time to cover it in depth. But Superman Legacy apparently now has their Lex Luthor, misspelled in the Chiron, but hey, that's the kind of speed we need, and accuracy be damned. By Justin Kroll and Anthony D'Alessandro. So Nicholas Holt, is that how we say the last name?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Nicholas Holt.
Although we
do
say Tom Connors with an S when we say his name.
Yeah,
I just say Tom Connor. Tom Connor, got it. Good job, Tom Connor. I like titles.
The Connor. No, I just saw this, and it's funny because Script Doctor and I, as soon as we heard that Nicholas Holt was being looked at, we thought, yeah, they might be looking at him for either Brainiac or Luthor. So not too surprised by this, but yeah, so some interesting news that just came across the wire.
There you go.
Breaking
news on that.
He was also up for Batman, actually. He was originally between him and Pattinson, and that was he was actually the one that the director wanted, Matt Reeves, but the studio pressured Matt to do Pattinson instead.
So I think we're going to have, and I say plethora. Some say plethora, but they're wrong. I think there's a plethora of news about to break in the next 2 weeks out of Hollywood due to the SAG-AFTRA strike having ended. And frankly, on this channel, I'm excited. I think we're going to get an exclusive on Star Wars. So we'll have that hopefully this week if we can get some help from a source. But I think this is just the beginning. I suspect we'll get way more about Superman, James Gunn, DC, and all of the other franchises too as we get out, especially next week after Thanksgiving. I think we'll get a lot. So big news there. We'll keep covering it. All right, Jonas, it's time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask what we thought about that casting. I don't know. He doesn't really like ring Lex Luthor to me. I've seen him in a couple things, obviously as Beast, and he was in some like Netflix Iraq War special.
Yeah, he was in
Iraq
that
War movie. I don't know.
Warm Bodies with that girl that looks like Kristen Stewart, but like as a blonde girl. He was okay in that. I don't know. I think he's a decent actor. I've never seen him play someone that's malevolent in any way, and that's really what I want to see with Lex Luthor is the capability of looking threatening without looking like you're just some rich boy that gets angry sometimes. You know,
I think it'll go the other direction. I was going to say, I was going to go ahead, Pro.
Real quick, and then Tom, throw your opinion on this. I'm torn in two directions because that's not who I would see as Lex Luthor, and at the same time, do I really want to go against what James Gunn may have creatively? I don't know yet. Let's see. He's very avant-garde. Tom.
I was just going to say the other version of Luthor we could be getting is that Nicholas is a very likable person, and Lex has to be a very charismatic individual. So they might be doing the more, politician Lex, where he's, a little bit more suave and debonair, and I could see Nicholas playing that kind of a role. And he's a big dude. He doesn't look big, but if you guys watched Renfield that came out this last year, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. And I was like, holy cow. I thought he was kind of scrawny and small, but no, he's tall and kind of broad. So I think he'll be all right once you shave his head down. I wonder if he'll have a unique look with a bald head. So we'll have to see what he looks like. But overall, I'll give him a shot. I've seen him in tons of things. I like him as an actor. I wish he had played Batman instead, but I guess we'll get to see what he can do as Lex Luthor now.
Better or worse than Jesse Eisenberg?
God, is there? That's like the bottom of the barrel, Bass.
Well,
come on!
You see, now your enthusiasm's up.
I will defend Eisenberg there. I feel like a lot of the stuff that he brought to it in the actual film was direction, and because we did get that post-credit scene in Justice League where I thought he did a much better job portraying the Lex that we all kind of were expecting.
Yeah, the problem that the most I remember from the screening of Batman v Superman that I was in was that I got really hungry for the entire last hour of that movie. That's
Great
probably
memory.
not the director's
Great memory.
intention.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go, and we're going to see if we get more insight from this great panel of Vash Sky, new editor-in-chief of That Park Place, John F. Trent, Valiant Renegade, Jonas J. Campbell, and, of course, Tom Kana. Let's see what we've got out of these bonus member chats. Bonus member chat. The S is silent. Here we go, folks. From Fork 501, it finally happened. I was gifted enough memberships that I feel like it would be criminal to keep taking them. Glad to be a member. I hope everyone has a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. Well, thank you, Fork 501. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with people you love and who love you. JB Spooky Review says, I never know what to ask, but you guys have said some kind things in the past that have kept me pushing forward and trying with my own channel when I was ready to quit, so thank you. And Spooky Review, we are pulling for you. We hope that you will find great success, and whatever you're doing, keep giving it the very best that you can. Feota says, any chance on you guys covering The Creator in a review? I finally had a chance to watch it last night in digital form, and it was outstanding. For an $80 million budget, Gareth Edwards created a masterpiece. The ending literally left me crying in sadness and joy at the same time. I'll definitely be viewing my download again. Gentlemen,
Yes,
what do you think? Can
we did.
coverage here?
Cinepark. Yeah, we did cover it on That Park Place, the YouTube channel. Cinepark Rangers, who's been contributing and doing a pretty good job of it on a semi-regular basis. He reviewed the film. I don't know if he liked it as much as you liked it, but he did like the film enough to reach out and do a review for the channel. So yes. There
you go.
We have covered it. So
keep following That Park Place, both on the website and the YouTube channel. Great stuff. B.A. Sykes, 1701. Happy holidays to Pro, Valiant, Legal Mindset, and the rest of the crew, and thanks for all you do. I know this topic isn't at the top of the list, but I want to revisit the Shades of Green situation, talking about the resort that is specifically for military members and their families at Walt Disney World Resort.
Right.
My wife and I were there in May right after the walkway to the Polynesian was closed. Shades of Green had extra buses running to the Ticket and Transportation Center, so getting to Magic Kingdom and Epcot was still pretty easy. That said, I think Pro had it right back in April. Have Siftod fund a walking bridge over the new road and name it after DeSantis to show who cares about our military veterans and who cares about more DVC club money priorities.
Well said.
And the problem here is that when, let's see, you went right after it closed. The problem is that in those low attended months, which are becoming more and more at Disney, they run the buses less and less.
Right.
And so that's really when it becomes extremely inconvenient for guests who are staying there. And it's just much more convenient to be able to go and hop on a monorail. And I think that military members have earned that. If it's always been there, there's no reason to take it away. Panel, any extra thoughts on that one?
I 100% agree. I mean, this was, a nice perk for them because it almost made it a de facto monorail line resort with its proximity to the Polynesian. Taking that road away, it's just a bad move. I think Siftod should definitely look into it.
Especially when they haven't really done much construction there anyways.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, moving right along. We've got Tyler K. Agato. Did I get that right? What do you think, Jonas? Did I get it? I'm not as good as you at this.
I don't know. Kagato or K. Agato, or maybe it's Cage Dough.
Just wanted to thank your channel and crew for being something that is more wholesome and uplifting, even when you're covering things that have fallen so far. Well, we believe in positivity and authority. But yes, we definitely want to see better things. And it turns out that if you do good things, then good things happen. So let's hope that the corporations across America will do that. Olaf Van S says, looking at the last two polls, will we get 5 more till dessert? And right now, folks, we're voting on cranberry sauce. I think maybe Pro needs our help to choose what to cook for family and friends this Thanksgiving. But seriously, will Spencer and company take a bigger role in bounding into comics, or is this the end of bounding into comics? Let me hand this to somebody else because I don't want to touch that.
I don't think we know what's going to happen over there at Bounding Into Comics because no one on this panel works for Bounding Into Comics anymore. So that's a good question that maybe should be directed to any of their streams or articles. Or I'm not intending to send anybody over there, but they would be much better suited to answering what they intend to do next.
We wish them well. We wish Bounding Into Comics well. We are exceedingly happy that John Trent is the chief editor at thatparkplace.com. He is a unique talent in all of the world, we believe. And we intend to make thatparkplace.com be the premier location for pop culture news and analysis. And that said, I think there will be more announcements in the future about additional authors for That Park Place, but I can't say any more than that right now. John, any thoughts on this one, or throw the hands up
Jonas,
and say no?
I think Jonas pretty much covered it. I don't really have anything else to add. I really don't know what their plans are. You'd have to ask them what they have in store for the website.
And we wish them well. Elijah Hoster Morris 1408 says, "Happy Thanksgiving to the whole WDW Pro community." Absolutely. Well, we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving as well. Ryer Goddard says, "Happy holidays to Pro and friends. Thank you for all you do and keep up the great work." Thank you so much, Ryer. And you all are the electricity that makes it possible. So thank you all. Coach O'Dragon says, "It's going to be crazy time for Disney, given that I consider Wish is probably their last chance. But with the plot leaking out to critics and the score, also some pixie dusters are not too happy about different opinions about Wish. But remember, you're not rude. You're just being honest when you're speaking your mind about it. And they can't handle the truth. Never stop. They can't handle the truth."
Coach is a great. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to Coach O'Dragon. Follows us over on the Twitter. If you aren't following, you should definitely check out That Park Place on Twitter. We got a lot of stuff going on over there as well. Really trying to ramp up that on the social media aspect there. So definitely follow us over there. And Coach O'Dragon is one who I see engages with us a lot over there. So really
Coach O is awesome. Yes, very Coach O also is very enthusiastic about telling the truth, and I appreciate anyone who who sincerely believes in telling the truth. I think
he's getting into it with people on Twitter. That's for sure. He's he ain't shy. So
that's right. There's truth bombs and then there's truth napalm. Ocho chooses the latter. Exactly. All right, gaming. Nico says, "Thank you for this channel. It really is uplifting and truthful, unlike the mainstream media and Disney." Well, that's what we're aiming for. And if we're not aiming high enough, remind us, and we'll try to do better. That's what your job is. Our job is to investigate and to report. You all support and let us know when we need fair criticism, and we appreciate it each and every time. Josh Hammond says, "No questions, just want to sing. You can fight like a Krogan, run like a leopard, but you'll never be better than Commander Shepard." Anyways, looking forward to the next Mass Effect game. Congrats to John Trent. John, any remarks to Josh Hammond?
I appreciate that. I love the Krogan remark there. Rex was always my favorite character when I played the second, or I think he was in the first and second, and he was my favorite. But yeah, appreciate that. Really looking forward to what we have planned. Can't wait to share more with you guys. It's up and away here.
Absolutely. To the stratosphere. That Service Dog show says time for a stressful and sometimes a lonely week. For service dog handlers, we will be having a group Zoom chat 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Look me up under the same name on Facebook for the link. And then we had some nice responses here. My daughter has a service dog, and we are getting another for our 4-year-old. And then that service dog was so kind in responding to that. And folks, that's what we like to see, is as much kindness as we can offer to the world. Remember that people like that Service Dog show doing the things that help others, it really, really matters. And it's the antidote to nihilism and to depression and anxiety, is get out there and do the hard work of making the world better for those around you. It's worth it, we promise. Guys, any other thoughts?
No, this is great.
Pretty well.
Yeah. And we're looking to build more of this as that Park Place continues on.
This is the kind of thing that we believe in truly. Indie Phantom Sofa Cinema says, "This past weekend with the results for Brie and Ziegler was the most satisfying November treat since 2016. Well, Wish is going to be the cherry on the top, I suppose. Guys, do we take part in Schadenfreude, or do we worry and
No, we want these movies
for Disney.
We want these movies to be good. Let me just say that we want good movies to be made at Disney. Of course, if we know it's crap and we know that they're trying to push some weird ideology in it, then it's not going to be good. So we would want these to be well done, and they are not making well done movies. All things said, I would prefer that they make good movies that we enjoy. That is a sign that they would be back to where they need to be. So
right.
I hate going to the theaters and being bored out of my mind. I had nothing to say about the Marvels, but it's part of the job to describe that monstrosity.
And I think we've been fair with Disney. I gave Loki season 2 an overall 8 out of 10 based on the strong finale. I gave Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 an 8 out of 10. I like the first 2 much better, but I still gave it a good score. And so when Disney has produced good content, we've said this is good. We're not gonna just shame them for no reason. But they don't give us that opportunity very often. Haunted Mansion is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's awful. And that's really saying something. And there's so many other films that have been just like that for Disney. We'd like for them to stop doing that. Stop being bad.
Yes.
If you've got a toddler in the room, nobody's having fun when they poop themselves. So Disney, stop it.
Recently, Jollywood Nights, we were talking about Jollywood Nights before. When it premiered, it was horrible. It was bad. Everybody complained. Everything was terrible. But now Disney's kind of readjusted that, right? The only way you guarantee that they don't change is if you don't criticize. That's it. Because they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. But if you do constructively criticize, if you do bring legitimate arguments to the forefront, and if you do say, hey, we don't like this, but we could like this, please give us this, that's the only way they change.
And if somebody wants to know what we're talking about with Jollywood Nights, there's a video on the That Park Place YouTube channel in which we go through in excruciating detail a lot of what happened there that first night of it. It was a complete disaster.
Maybe that is why the Disney chief financial officer, the second highest person in the company, is following you, Jonas.
maybe.
And to Bob and to Hugh, we say welcome to this live stream. We hope we've treated you well. Thank you for watching. Troy Pacelli says, wdwpro is fast becoming the most cited YouTube outlet on my channel for what it's worth. Well, Troy, that makes us so happy, and we hope we're being cited in a positive manner, not a negative manner.
And that
there
would be
are dark places on the web where that's not the case.
Well, no, I don't think that's the case with Last Call with Troy Pacelli. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Definitely not. And, I want to say a huge thank you out there to everybody who's made this, be such a phenomenon. Folks, you really are the power that drives all of it. We are headed for a November of more than 3 million views. And so that's incredible. And that's what we're going to try to do with thatparkplace.com. We could be satisfied with what we've accomplished this year, and we could say this is good enough. We don't want to do that. And so we're going to step out and take some risks, and we're going to try to change culture. We're going to try to impact the world, and that's what we're going to do. And we're happy to have John aboard helping it be so. And if you all knew the team that we have, I could go through the list, and we probably will later in the year, of just the amazing people behind the scenes doing work, whether it's Fat Steven or Jonas J. Campbell or Dr. Michael, Valiant Renegade. There are so many people, stuttering guitarist. I can keep going and going, of the people and the sources who have made this possible. It's not just about pro, but thank you. Aurora Uplinks says, so I have been forming this really great idea for a Marvel movie. Several. However, this one I think would be amazing. It's basically an alternate timeline world where the Axis conquered Europe. Who knows? Maybe they brought Russia into the Axis and everything fell like dominoes in Europe, Asia, and North Africa. So then, independent from it, you got the North, South Americans as remainder, and Australia in this alliance, and they protect the Mid-South areas of Africa. And folks, you can read the rest on the screen, but I want to ask the panel, in response to this, is this now the time for content creators to get out there and go at it? For indie content creators, go out and make stuff. Do you think this is the time?
100% it's the time. The corporate media is in such a disarray right now. They are clearly not tapping into the zeitgeist of the American public. They're actively insulting them for the most part. They're driving people away. I definitely think this is the time to pounce and to do indeed go out there and create your own stuff. And we're seeing people go out and do that. We're seeing successes like Eric July over at the Rippaverse. One of the guys I like is Brian Niemeyer. He's got a really good novel series called Combat Frame X-Seed, which is kind of heavily inspired by Mobile Suit Gundam. It's really good novel series. So you've just got people out there making stuff, and you're going to fail. You're probably going to fail early, but you just got to keep at it, and you'll get better, and you'll learn from your mistakes and do better, and you'll eventually start making stuff that people are going to like and really connect with people. And I just think that's this is the right opportunity to do it right now.
Practice makes perfect. You've never met a small child who didn't fall learning to walk, but they got back up and kept at it. If they didn't, well, none of us would be walking today. But Aurora Uplinks, we are so proud that you are out there using your creativity. Please go out and do something with it. We are pulling for you. MB, AK, MB says, Hail Pro, any chance you can scoop out some news on Stargate SG-1 reboot or continuation? Either way, glad you're here to provide us with daily news of worth. Well, I think thatparkplace.com now is the perfect place to start trying to scoop those things. Unfortunately, I don't have a source close to that one, but we'll do our best, and we'll keep at it as best we can. Do you guys have any knowledge on Stargate SG-1?
No. Well, only the 10 seasons of it that are already out.
The last I heard, there was a rumor, I feel like back in July, San Diego Comic-Con, they were thinking about making an announcement about a Stargate continuation series or a new Stargate. And they decided to hold off on that announcement due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. So I don't know if there's any legitimacy to that rumor or anything, but that is what I heard back in July about it. But I don't think Joseph Malazzi or any of the people from Stargate SG-1 are kind of working on it. I remember, I forget who it was right now. I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he was indeed tapped to write a script by MGM, but they have since seemingly parted ways, especially during the writer's strike. So, but it looks like they do. I think they do have a couple of scripts maybe that they were looking at, and they were looking at doing something with Stargate. We know that was in the announcement when Amazon purchased MGM. That was one of the properties that they were looking at trying to do stuff on. That was one of the ones they specifically announced in the press release.
There you go. Knock and it shall be open, folks. Ask those questions. You never know. We might have some info. Me and my monkey. I am here for all the news that should be fun. And at no extra expense, we'll explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. Joshua Munn says Disney was in contact with Sean Levy and gave a carte blanche with the production budget, the list of actors and scenes that Levy may want for Deadpool 3. Taylor Swift is going to play Dazzler in the movie. Disney really wants Deadpool 3 to be the project that makes general audiences excited again for Marvel titles. Vash, will you go see Deadpool 3 if Taylor Swift is in it? Are you a Swiftie? The folks want to know.
As Dazzler, absolute no. My dad is a Swiftie, which is really interesting, but I am not, generally speaking. But hey, look, listen, this is as alluded to in here in this chat here, it is got to be the film that has the most enthusiasm coming out of Disney in a long time. I mean, this is really it right here. So they have to get this right, and I think they might. I mean, we'll see. They have Taylor Swift in there. It will get the ratings. I mean, look at the NFL and how that was transformed when Taylor Swift was just in the stands for a Kansas City Chiefs game. I mean, it's crazy the effect that she has on entertainment, pop culture, etc. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, if they cast her, it's gonna be huge.
Tom, are you a Swiftie?
Well, I used to have bad blood with Swift, but now I got mad love. I didn't like her music, so I shook it off. I thought maybe we'd never, ever get back together. But it's been a cruel summer, so.
Did she write that one? What? I'm so confused. I knew you were trying.
Her version, yeah, I think so. It's not the same as the other one.
Taylor's.
If he starts saying he's in a gangsta's paradise with Taylor Swift, we'll know he's
Wait a minute, that doesn't compute.
Rod Thunderheart says, in order to promote his book in the future, Rod Thunderheart is going to debut his never before publicly seen full split-legged power bomb, the Thunder Bomb. And a media frenzy is a perfect place to drop. Oh, and by the way, he's an author, and his book, See Through Love, is out right now on Friesen Press. Perfect. Thank you, Rod Thunderheart. And folks, make sure to check out what Rod Thunderheart is up to, again, with the creativity, and we are so supportive of that. Great job. Let's see here. Arasaka, the Dapper Goose, and that avatar wins the day. That goose has a pipe. With the established media companies.
Yeah, Untitled Goose Game, right?
Yes, yeah. What is the one where the goose you run around and try to destroy everything and make people mad?
Untitled Goose Game, yeah.
But what's the title?
Yeah. Okay, who's on first?
With the established media companies stuck in the network linear modeling and Disney possibly selling ABC, what do you think this means in regard to the future of linear programming? That's a valiant question if I ever heard one. Valiant?
I'm going to start answering, and Valiant's going to correct me. What we're going to see a lot more of is single IP, fast, as in free, ad-supported content channels showing up to where you get your set-top box and you put it there, and it's going to be the Big Bang Theory channel or the Golden Girls channel or the Fast franchise, as in Fast and the Furious, not free ad-supported channel. So I think that's probably where linear is going to end up. There's a great article, I think, from Starter and Guitarist on this subject as well. So,
more or less, I mean, that's all you need is a delivery device, right? A Roku, a Fire Stick, an Apple TV. It's all app based, right? It may all be coming from Apple, or it may all be coming from Paramount. But yeah, I mean, you can have a channel for this, a channel for that, just like now. Every cable channel that you get through Charter or Cox or wherever you are, Comcast. You can download an app for that channel on your Roku, on your Apple TV, on your whatever Amazon device. I've got apps on there on my Apple TV for probably 12 different cable channels. All I've got to do is be able to log into them with my cable subscription. That'll eventually go away. Everything will move to fast or some kind of unified system. And probably the easiest way to do it is that guys like Roku out there are very well positioned to become a replacement cable delivery provider in that sense, that you're just going to go in there and you have all your channels, and then Roku is going to deliver all the ads through it as a broker for the people watching, and then that revenue gets shared back with the content that's being watched.
Can we put Disney Plus on Roku, or is that still a kind of
there's Disney Plus.
No, it's on Roku.
It's on Roku now. Okay.
Yeah, Disney Plus would have an app everywhere for everything.
I think it's always been on Roku.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a delay at the start. Yeah.
Well, this next bonus member chat, I think, also goes to Valiant, although it's to those who appear on the show as well. But Valiant, this one's to you. Butter Biscuit says, love the Sunday show. Watch it while I deliver the mail on Mondays, which are the worst. Thanks for keeping me laughing for a few hours, especially with these 11 and 12-hour days because of the upcoming holidays. Love you guys. Who knew listening about numbers and financials could be fun in regards to Disney?
That's right.
Yeah, well, thank you for watching.
Happy to have you, Butter Biscuit, and love the name. Cadence says, I watched a blind review for The Brave Locomotive, and the guy that did that review said Andrew Chesworth, the animator that created the short film, was also an animator for several Disney films. I hope you watched it. It really took me back to the good old classic Disney movies. I wish I could have said that the other day, but it was too many characters for the member chat. That was my first time doing a member milestone chat. Well, Cadence, we're all newbies at first. You will be savvy with the next one. And we're so glad that you sent in this bonus member chat. And absolutely, we'll check that out. And
I got to say that the stills from the Brave Locomotive look great. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yes, big fans here of excellent animation. Not something we expect to get out of Wish coming up real soon. SFX F13 Sabertooth Raptor says, Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Has anyone had shoe fly pie? It is a Pennsylvania Dutch pie. It is my favorite pie. Love listening to you all. Keep up the great work. Do we have any shoe fly pie fans here in the house?
I think I had it at a family reunion once, but no, I don't remember it being either bad or good. I think it was fine for a pie. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Is it like shepherd's pie? Is that what it's like?
No. I think this is actually a sweet pie.
Ooh, a sweet pie. Well, I'm a fan of buttermilk pie. I like buttermilk pie. Although I have come to the conclusion that buttermilk pie and flan are not so different. They're just kind of. It's kind of like, well, buttermilk pie is a Southern thing and flan is a Latino thing, but they're not. They're like very close cousins, I think.
Around here we have Midwest. We have chess pie, which is it's a
also
lardy
not
pie.
so different.
Yeah,
lots of sugar. Lots of sugar is what I'm hearing. All right, this one is going to John Trent. Brenton Lucas says, or Brenton Lucas, sorry. For John Trent, congratulations on joining the Park Place team. I have a question about your time at Bounding into Comics. Do you have any insight on their secret sauce to getting into the algorithms on Google, etc., without subscribing to The Message? I'm always surprised that Bounding into Comics sometimes shows up in the Google results or the news section. It's the only non-mainstream site to really do so for me. John, spill the secrets.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to apply that secret sauce to that Park Place and get it going up in there as well, and show up in those Google results. I think it really comes down to just building a strong readership, and people that are coming to the site come through Google, and it shows up in the recommended feeds, and the Google algorithm kind of recommends it. It's very similar to how it kind of operates here with YouTube. So I think that's what we can do. So if you can also subscribe on Google to thatparkplace.com. Follow us, add us to your favorites over there. Bookmark us, just kind of like constantly coming to the website, visiting every day, because we're going to have new articles up every day. And we're going to have insightful commentary, opinion pieces, and breaking news.
Perfect. Carlos Alfredo Lopez says, all I can say to you is I hope you keep growing and keep giving us fun.
Yeah.
Great work at that Park Place too. Carlos, thank you so much. Ben Jonas, I'm never good at these. What do you got?
I'm going to say Beneturkov. I don't know. Just say it with confidence, and most people will let it slide. Napoleon actually wasn't that short. He was just under 5'6", which is actually above the average for a French guy, even though he is Sardinian of the time. Absolutely correct. Napoleon was average or taller. It's just that when modern audiences looked at him, he looked shorter. Yep. Monica's 854.
When I am on Who Wants to Be a Trillionaire, and the new Regis Philbin asks me what was the real ethnicity of Napoleon, I owe Beneturkov quite a bit of money.
I actually thought he was a Corsican for some reason.
No, I'm going to get it wrong.
I thought it was Corsican too. He came from the island.
See, now I'm going to second guess myself when I'm on.
Now I have to go look up where Sardinia is.
Quadrillionaire. Inflation, folks. That's where we're going.
I thought he was a small little fish. He said he was Sardinian. I didn't get it.
Salty. Jonah, so you're going to read this next one? You started?
Yeah. Sorry. All right, let's go. Monica, 845. Now that the strikes, screenwriters, and actors have been resolved, how long will the current and still active projects be delayed at least? And how much more expensive will the delay make them? A percentage of what you guess is the best case scenario. It's going to be different depending on the production. I think that the delay on Snow White might mean they're remaking that film from scratch. Daredevil is a 0-page rewrite, according to the guys that are in charge of that one. It's going to depend on the project. For Disney, I think it is square one for a lot of it. For Deadpool 3, I think that I think I heard 50%. Tom, you might have a better commentary on that. All right. Anybody else before we go on?
Well, I'll say that I think that Captain America: Brave New World is likely largely being reshot. They've said it's 3 significant sequences and
3 significant sequences. That's it.
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. That's all they're reshooting.
Exactly. It really does depend on each individual project, and it also depends on did they have to keep the physical sets or not. That's going to be a big deal. But we think Deadpool 3 is starting production again next week. So.
I think it might have already started. We saw an Instagram post from Hugh Jackman earlier today indicating that he might already be on set.
Oh, neato.
Joshua Erickson, 1969. Chance you guys may mention the retcon of Davros in Doctor Who. I talked a little bit on Twitter about it, although mostly it was to mention that Disney had bought the rights to stream Doctor Who in the United States. It looks like they're trying to change Davros into, instead of this menacing character who doesn't really use his body in that way, into somebody that has a disability. So they're rewriting him to be something that the writers of this show view as less than, in order to improve him from that less than status. So I wouldn't say I really appreciate it. And I think it kind of shows their hand there.
From Rabnad Skubla, because we do need to speed up a little bit. We are premiering John Trent's brand new YouTube channel, The Trent Report, in about 15 minutes. So we're going to speed up a little bit. Rabnad Skubla says, while it is true that the Disney Corporation is promoting Wish as a celebration of their 100-year anniversary, I would argue it doesn't represent Disney at all. It represents the woke ESG score coveting modern Disney run by Bob Iger. They could have done better just making a reel of old animation redone and restored and releasing that to celebrate a century of Disney. What do you think Walt Disney would think of Wish being the thing Disney expels to celebrate his legacy? I don't think that Walt would have released it, but I haven't seen it yet. I'll let you know if I change my opinion on that. T-Zine Tex 999 says, it looks like Weta Workshop will be working on the Warhammer 40,000 series piloted by Henry Cavill. I have a lot of hope and can't wait until more normies are introduced to the grim dark of the far future. Are there any panel members versed in 40K that will be able to cover it? Gentlemen, anyone?
I have a brief knowledge of it. I read a number of the Horse Heresy books, and I played a couple of the video games, especially the RTS game they released. I don't know, it's probably a decade ago now. So I have some knowledge of it, and it's definitely something that we'll probably be covering on That Park Place.
TZ, it sounds like a guy who's in charge of a website just might be writing about it. Keep reading. Just call me Bard, said Disney is quieting the noise by turning the music up louder and hoping the neighbors go away. Bob wants to quiet us down by drowning us out, not by making intelligent business decisions.
Perfect encapsulation.
Does seem to be what he's saying. Slade. Maybe I should be careful with this one. Nope. Slade was good. Since I may not be able to attend the Thanksgiving show, I do have a question. Given the rumors that Kevin Feige pushed Brie Larson so hard because they were extremely friendly, is it safe to say that the $300 million plus loss to Marvels will add to Disney's bottom line? It's one of the most expensive issues in history. How does that speak to Feige's judgment? Well, this is the biggest flop in all of history. Not sure about relationship issues between Feige and Brie, but I can say that this is dramatically bad for Disney in a way they have never experienced before, because nobody has. This is unprecedented. This is the biggest flop of all time. And to address the Thanksgiving thing, we will not be having a show on Thursday. We want you all to go enjoy your families. However, we will have our normal content release on the channel because we never stop. So 10:30 a.m., 3:30 p.m., and then 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll release videos on Thanksgiving, but no shows because that would pull you away from your families, and we don't want to do that. Castigan says, congratulations, a great channel, and best of luck for the future. So kind, and we appreciate it so much.
I love the future, yes.
That's right. Enrique Vasquez says, for this Thanksgiving, what are you thankful for? Also, what is a must-buy for Black Friday for you? For me, everything is what I'm thankful for. I am blessed beyond measure and super grateful for everything that is going on right now. And for Black Friday, I am hoping to get a set of electric drums that I can practice playing without waking up others.
Well, go on, bang on your bongo drums then, bro. I'm going to say I'm a regular Vin Diesel. I'm thankful for family, and not the family that you have to pay with multi-million-dollar contracts to sit around the table with you at the end of the movie. So, yeah.
Tom, what are you thankful for?
Well,
I thought he was going to say turtles. I knew it.
No, I'm thankful for all you guys in the chat and on the stream, of course. I mean, all my friends and family, and I'm just thankful to be able to do this with my life. I mean, as much as we bitch about the movies and the shows and all that stuff, like, this is what I wanted to do for many years when I got into radio and journalism back in the day. So I'm thankful to be able to do this every single day. And you know, I made so many great friends and met so many great people over the years. And just another year of doing this is all the only thing I can mainly be thankful for besides my supposed health and friends and family. So there you go.
I'm going to say thank you for Tom on this one. I'm thankful for Tom and Midnight's Edge. Y'all are great, by the way.
They led the way. They really did. Vash?
I'm thankful for Jonas and Pro, you know, at that Park Place, and you know, the Pro channel, the Pro crew, if you were, for embracing me and, you know, really picking me up when I definitely needed it. So thank you so much. And I think I hear right in the back. There you go, there, Pro. I think you're gonna get it.
Awesome.
that's
happy to have you on board. John, anything you're thankful for this Thanksgiving?
I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity to run the Park Place that you presented me with. Thankful for my family. Thankful for the country that we live in. Thankful for so much. It's just truly thankful for this opportunity. I think we have sky's the limit here. We're going to do a lot together. Just thank you again for this opportunity.
Let's change the world. Valiant.
It's going to be lit.
His editor. Blues, fishing reels, audio research, tube preamps, and 20-volt cordless drills. Thank you.
And a partridge.
Those speakers, I expect family photos with hair pushed straight back as it just blew the follicles off. All right, here we go. Dustin
Sensenig. Yeah, you got it.
First off, welcome aboard, John. Culture for you. How long did it take to grow that great-looking beard of yours? I am so sorry that Culture is not still here, but we have the answer.
A year.
He's been growing it since the day he was born.
No, he cuts it every year. It's a year. I know the answer.
Okay, one year. But really, since he was a toddler. Me and my monkey, 6773. I would call that a merger. Called it. Flack Monkey says, hot take. It'll be far more cost effective to let Iger finish running Disney into the ground than doing this proxy fight. Even if Peltz won, we'd have to deal with bad people like Feige who make casting decisions based on immutable differences. Well, whoever fixes Disney is going to have to fix the ideology that runs it. Joshua Munn says, sources at Disney Marvel Studios described Kevin Feige was trying to be a good corporate citizen when Bob Iger asked him to slow down the speed of releasing MCU projects. Well, he wasn't a very good corporate citizen in driving a franchise that was the hottest thing on the planet down into Star Wars territory in just 3 or 4 years. Ken Reihart said, I made a comment and I didn't even get a lousy t-shirt. Dang it, Bob! Leon Soaps says, Alf renewed and you're doing the new season 3. If Alf content comes out, we are going to do an anti-Mexican Iron Man channel. Not that we're anti-Mexican Iron Man, but just that if we cover Alf, it'll have to be on a separate channel, and he won't like it. So therefore, it's anti-Mexican Iron Man. We're so sorry.
I like Alf. He had 4 seasons, so this would be season 5, technically.
And Toidles. Ritasaurus says, how high are the odds of Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, being one of the highest grossing movies of 2024?
Pretty good.
As few films as there are, like Tom said.
That's
next. Not just that.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the last film opened simultaneously on HBO Max and in theaters during the height of lockdown and still managed to make $500 million. I said it then, and I'll say it now. That movie left a $500 million at least on the table. So I wouldn't be surprised if this movie bows down in the $8 to billion range. It's going to be a big movie because kids love dinosaurs and they love monsters.
Great stuff, Tom.
Joshua Munn drops a second one. Unfortunately, we are short on time. We can't read multiple bonus member chats today. Roscoe the Rev says, will there be any hope for Disney's future if Iger, Chapek, KK, and the rest resign? Well, hope springs eternal, and if Star Wars taught us one thing, there's always a new hope. Paul, 12,000 says, are there enough flops for the parody? 12 flops of Disney. I think Jonas is going to have to start singing.
I'll have to do it after the stream, though.
In the first month of 23, Disney gave to me, and then you just keep going from there.
The first flop of the year,
the greatest flop in history. Mikey Cologne says, test.
Mindy.
And you have passed the test, Mikey Cologne. You have dropped a bonus member chat, and we all adored it. Folks, we are so glad that you joined us for the Pro Show. Let's get these super chats, and then we'll outro and go for the very first time to the John Trent Report. The Trent Report is a brand new YouTube channel. Folks, as you go over there, make sure that you subscribe because we're trying to, again, help John in this brand new journey, and we want to, skyrocket his brand new channel. Jonas, super chats.
Tennille89 for $5. I propose that henceforth, when we critique Disney, it should be appended with the phrase, and go to your room and think about what you did, young man. That's not true. They're all old men that are running the company. Slade Wilson,
I totally agree. That's funny.
Happy Thanksgiving to all, even Jonas. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Slade.
This is the most heartwarming thing that's ever happened on the channel. Jonas and Slade wishing each other happy Thanksgivings. It's a Thanksgiving miracle.
Enrique Vasquez for $2 pro, or Jonas, please hit the refresh button one more time. I think he did. Alex Chilver, member for 2 months. Evil Genius Games versus Rebel Moon litigation news. I'm going to have to look into that. Looks like Evil Genius Games handed a story lore Bible to Netflix, and they might have incorporated some of it. I'm having to look into it. So I'm sure, Alex Chilver, you probably know better than we do at this point. Just me for $5 at Jonas. Nicholas Holt in Kill Your Friends matches what you want from his performance. It's like American Psycho set in the 90s British music industry. That sounds amazing.
It does, absolutely. And very intriguing.
And finally, what's your first thought for $2 Canadian? Roasted or mashed potatoes? That's very
on
difficult.
Thanksgiving, choice. Mashed.
All right, and that is
mashed.
That is the end of the super chats.
But it is the beginning of a brand new channel and a new dawn in entertainment coverage for news and analysis. John, we're so pleased once more time. So pleased that you are with thatparkplace.com. It's a true honor and once in a lifetime opportunity. When we became aware that you were moving on to a new chapter, we're just so happy that chapter is with That Park Place. We know the community is ready and willing to embrace what you're about to bring, and happy that you now have the freedom to express it in the exact way that you think is best. So welcome to the team, sir. Excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. Again, as I said previously already, I'm really excited to do this. I think we have a huge opportunity here. Again, the sky's the limit, and we're gonna change the way pop culture is talked about.
I also want to say a thank you to Tom and to his partner in crime, Andre. They, of course, led the way here on YouTube with Midnight's Edge, and if it were not for them, there would be far fewer YouTube channels doing what we do today. So we all owe them also a significant amount of gratitude. We stand upon the shoulders of people who led the way and forged the path. Well, folks, it is time to go enjoy the Trent Report. So with that, remember that you are
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
And folks, let's go see what John has cooked up. It's a brand new day. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat turkey. We'll see you real soon. And dressing is better than stuffing, no matter what you say.